Let the bass kick.
How many languages did it create by making that series?
Oh, they made up a bunch of them.
Dothraki.
It's
It was like 4 or 5 of them,
it's
wasn't
official
it?
now. They made up 9 languages.
9.
Did they really?
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
Crazy.
And you can speak fully in all 9 of them.
Well, and then Star Trek. I mean,
That's
how
right.
many
That
of
is
those?
insane.
Not
I
even
wonder
one,
how
bro.
many like fictional languages there are.
But did Star Trek actually go into...
'Cause, like, Klingon?
It just sounds like
Klingon,
yeah.
true.
Klingon, and then the Elven language from Lord of the Rings. They have
Yeah.
that all written out, like
True that.
legit.
I mean, I guess they're spawned from fictional movies, but they're real. They're real languages now, right?
There
Avatar.
are experts in them. There are people that are
Yeah.
well versed in these languages. They usually are
Did
at
anything like
Cedar
that
Hill
happen
by
in,
the
Harry
playground.
Potter?
When you go in to play golf, they're in the field over there by the playground going,
gosh.
Magic Arrow! Magic
Yeah.
Arrow! Those guys can speak Elvish.
LARPing.
Yeah, LARPing. That's
LARPing. Yeah,
That's
right.
right. We've seen them there.
Yeah,
Well,
You
that
know,
mean-
this is the cycle of podcasts. Is we get on a disc golf podcast and we make fun of LARPers, and then
LARPers
golfers
on a
get on their
podcast.
podcast and make fun of disc golfers.
There you go. It's
And
just a
then
circle of life.
It's the circle of life.
Hit it again.
What up?
That was...
What up?
What up, guys?
What up?
He doesn't let anybody know when he's recording.
No, I sure don't. I just
Okay.
hit that red button
Pop it on.
and we just wing it, baby.
go.
We just let it
If you see me all of a sudden go,
Every once in a while, I'll bust into.
Oh,
Every
yeah.
once in
I
a while,
missed
I'll
it.
break into song. You never know what's gonna happen.
if you watch the replay, like right when it
The
starts,
last cash.
at the very beginning, you'll see me go.
I'm going to be watching this next time. I got to see it.
What's he doing? What's he doing over there? What's he going? What's he got his finger hovering over that big red button for?
Just another day,
You
Sapphire
have a
Lounge.
big red button.
What? I got a little red button. I call it the
It's
big
bigger
red
over
button.
there.
It's an ego
I
boosting
see it now.
mechanism. I call it the big red button, but it's way. That one that says REC. That's the one.
Just as important.
Interesting fact, I did a little bit of theater in high school.
Yeah.
I went
He
to
did a Bart Durham commercial.
Oh yeah, true.
I can see that.
I want to see it.
We had Holly
I
Finley.
wanna watch it.
I'll bring it up. I'll bring it
Yeah.
up.
Yeah,
But yeah,
we had Holly Finley on, and they talked about it because they both did Bart
both
Durham
did.
commercials.
My connection with everyone. Goodness, I'm about to lose my train of thought. But yeah, I went to a high
Boarding
school
at
that
the
turned
station.
into it turned into a magnet school, and they took all that money and they built all these buildings and this, that, and the other. But yeah, I got really big into theater, and they had a sound lighting board or whatever, and on the lighting scenes they had a big red button to go to the next scene. So I kind of wish we had like a little button. Go
Yeah,
scene.
like the Office, the talk button.
Yeah, make it more known that you just started everything.
I know, right?
I'm sure that's something we can work out. There's got to be a big red button on
Staples. I
Amazon.
mean, they got the
Marcus,
easy
get on
button.
Okay.
Amazon.
Right now.
That's how we got the pineapple. We got to get on Amazon. We got to find a talk button.
Amazon has everything.
And then
Amazon will get it to you tonight.
And then I'm an electrician, and so I will figure out how to wire it into the computer, and then we will have a fire.
I like it.
So is anybody a fireman? Do we have a fire extinguisher? Dave on?
right.
What up? Anyway, welcome to episode 38, you guys. I'm sure some of you are probably wondering who these lovely faces are that are joining us in the Sapphire Lounge this week. If this is your first time tuning in, my name is Will. This is Marcus.
Still here.
Still here, still Marcus. And joining us tonight are Jake Graham and Joe Taul of Sad Dog Discs. What's up, guys? Golf snaps for you.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here.
I'm going to plug applause into that afterwards. But yeah, Joe and Jake were just with us at the Seven Oaks Summer Solstice this weekend, which was a huge success. It was a B tier for the first time ever this year. Congratulations to the Music City Disc Golf Board of Directors for doing it up big, doing it justice. It's a historic event. This is actually the 31st installment annually of the Seven Oaks Summer Solstice.
Very cool.
It's been one of our mainstay events for years in the Nashville area, and it's one that's partial to me. I've TD'd it before. It's one that we've always taken seriously, and I had always talked about elevating it up to B-tier status or trying to make it a little bigger. So it was cool to see, and there's been a lot of changes with the club this year since I stepped away, and the board has got a lot of new members, and everybody's in kind of shifted positions. And you guys totally surprised me because I've known you a little bit for a while. You guys have been around for a couple years. We talk at Seven Oaks and stuff, and we see each other around. And I always pet your dogs.
Yeah.
Everyone does.
The mini horses.
Yeah, and I always like try to I'm a big guy. I probably shouldn't ride the dogs. But you came out this year. You guys have your own business now called Sad Dog Discs, and I'm sure you guys have already heard this name being thrown around, especially if you played the summer solstice over the weekend. But you guys now are disc dealing.
We
Yeah.
are.
You're
Yeah.
doing the art of the
Swinging
deal
the
with the
discs.
discs.
Yeah.
This is pretty cool. So, how long is this your first event that you've done payout for?
We actually started with the Memorial Tournament.
Okay, Mike Lane?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, not the Mike Lane. The one that was put on by the Veterans Disc Golf Club.
Oh, the Memorial Day Mayhem.
Yes.
Yeah, we didn't do the
Okay.
payout on that one though. We've
you've
ended
ended.
that one.
We've
yeah.
ended that
Yeah.
one, and we've sponsored a couple tournaments, but kind of ramping up. And this is our first, our big swing, especially being a B tier tournament. So,
Yeah.
and couldn't ask for more. I mean, Music City Disc Golf Club really knocked it out of the park and kept it smooth as possible.
We had a blast doing it too.
Yeah.
It was just a lot of fun overall. Everyone was super nice and dogs were swarmed often, so it was a great time.
Yeah, you can't bring dogs out and not get new friends.
Right.
Everybody wants to hang out with the dogs,
Oh, yeah.
especially when you got two Great Danes. Now, here's we're just going to go ahead. I'm going to fix my. Your son's ruffian friends are messing with my mic. I know it. They're in here.
Uh-oh.
They're in here spitting that fire. I'm just kidding.
I hope so.
Yeah, me
Make it-
too.
make
I
it
really
worth
do. Make it worth it. Yeah, for sure. Bringing some money in with these expensive
There you go.
microphones.
Where's the dollars? at?
But no, I was out there. Everything appeared to be very smooth, very awesome, very fun. 200 players, I think.
201 ended up with 199.
Nice, nice.
$199.
Yep.
Yep.
And you guys really seem to have done a fantastic job. It's always one of those things,
you.
especially in tournaments that size, because you always end up with, I'd say, 60-70% of the field is amateur. What would you say about that, Marcus? Was that roughly accurate?
I thought it was like 75%. But yeah.
75? Well,
Yeah, I
these
think we
days.
have,
Yeah.
like 32, 33 pro.
I've got no problem with that because AMS needs to
New
grow
players. Yeah.
into
Well,
their own so they can be pros.
The reason I bring that up is because for you guys, being the AMP payout vendors, that's huge. That's
good for us.
Yeah,
That's
it
your
was
bottom line.
massive. Yeah, it was super cool.
So you made a big impact, and I know because I have, man, if I had to make a list of all of the people over the years that I have brought in to do AMP payout for our tournaments, man, it'd probably be at least a dozen different vendors over the last 4 years. And there's always somebody's got either somebody's doesn't feel like the selection is that's available caters to them. You always are looking for somebody that has a wide selection of all manufacturers, all different kinds of gear and stuff like that. Because some people only throw Prodigy, some
Right.
people only throw dynamic discs, and then when you show and that's always been a point of contention. A lot of sponsors only want their brand represented in the AMP players packs and in the payout and stuff like that. So. You guys had a great inventory. I checked it out. I got a little bit of B-roll footage. You guys will check that out on the break. But, all good, all smile. Everybody seemed stoked, and everybody was like looking through all your stuff and pulling out. And you guys have some collector's items, and you got some little special stuff. I mean, how long did you
Yeah.
guys have to plan your inventory before you kind of did your unveiling?
So
'Cause
that's
discs have been hard to come by.
That's
They
a
have
couple
been.
of years. in
They
the
have
working
been.
there. Yeah, I mean
The
that's,
collectors mainly were.
That's
have
how
been
that's how we
collecting.
got started was the collector game on Facebook. So a lot of the some of those discs that were in those boxes I've owned personally for 2 years, well longer
Yeah.
than the business has been in play. So it was a pleasure getting to unveil that,
Yeah, that was
and,
fun.
and have people
Seeing
see
people's
it.
faces light up when they say, "Oh wow, you have that one? That's cool." It
Because
was
what's
fun.
the point of a collection if you can't share it?
Exactly.
My face lit up when they sold me this hat.
Yeah.
Yeah, you look good in
Marcus
it.
was
I
one
like
of
See what
it.
you see what I did there? I brought the hat to
Yeah.
the. Yeah, okay.
I like it.
Whatever,
I
guys,
noticed
yeah.
it when you walked in. I
Okay.
complimented you
All
on
right,
it.
I'm
I
just
got
saying.
you.
You guys will see Marcus crushing out on the course wearing that hat too.
Yeah, man.
Cool.
Knocking those pars out the course.
When he wasn't wearing the hat, it was hanging on his bag and it looked fly.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's a really cool hat.
I'm sorry, I only
like a
needed it
bag
for like
hat.
4 holes.
Yeah, yeah, it's like-
After that, we was like in the woods.
Man, no
Yeah.
joke though. I mean, and this is the way it always is with the solstice, but too hot for hats if you're not in the sun and you need it to block your eyes.
Yeah.
Also, I'm just going to say this, and I'll probably say it again because I believe we're going to end up doing commentary in here. Probably me and you.
I'm ready.
Probably.
That would be cool.
For lead card because Scotty Vandervoort, Pig Farmer Productions, was out there filming lead card for the Solstice this weekend.
Very cool.
Awesome. I
And
didn't know that.
Yeah, and I've been telling everybody that's doing any kind of media coverage, like hole-by-hole coverage of local stuff, I'm like, dude, there's no reason to take the time trying to get good footage and then ruin it with crappy audio quality on your commentary. So since we have a recording studio, I'm like, just like tell me who you want to do it, and we'll schedule it, and they can come out here and take advantage of it. So, but I think it's probably going to end up being me and Marcus. We did some MCO
cool.
commentary, me and you, and me and Jay, and so we might be doing that. But I want to say this just for the audience's benefit, Coach. You know, I got to keep it real for the folks at home. If y'all, I'm saying, disc golf fans, if you have a list, the 10 best players in Tennessee, and Snappy Cole ain't on that list, you're fake news.
I don't know how.
You're fake news. And you should go home immediately and pray, probably, for forgiveness. Because that's
Right now.
That's fraudulent at
I
best.
would like to see what players would beat Snappy Cole on that list if he wasn't on that list.
Dude, I'm saying, Snappy and his dad. The Coles are an institution. And if you ever plan to go down to Chattanooga, you better make room for Snappy on that list or keep it to yourself. That's all I'm saying. Just going to leave it there. Golf Snaps to Snappy Cole. Marcus, hit me with the stats. Pull up the FPO winner. Because I don't look at
FPO?
I don't look at scores.
FPO?
FPO.
FPO, yeah. Because we know Snappy won. Because that's what he does.
Right. I don't know if there was a FPO, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, there was.
Really?
Yeah, they teed off first.
Okay.
Very first early. Gosh, I think they teed off at 6:30 or 7.
You sure that was the FPO?
Nobody better be looking at me like I'm the
Maybe
TD.
Maybe it was an
It's not my
amateur
job
female.
anymore.
Maybe
I
it
told
was an
them-
amateur female thing.
I
Yeah,
told
'cause I
them to
got
take
the,
that job and shove it.
I've got the intermediate women,
That was probably it.
and I got the recreational women,
Okay, so we did not have
No
a
FPO.
and
professional.
I've got the novice women.
No FPO.
Okay, well then FA2 was the highest.
We got Tara, Raymond, and Ashley Berg, first and second, respectively.
Very nice.
Congratulations.
Recreational, we got Leslie King and Ruthie. And novice, we had Deanne Miller and Cassa Mathis. I hope I haven't murdered her name. Cassia. All right.
Cool.
I tried.
Golf snaps to you,
Awesome.
ladies. Also, I want to say shout out to the great and powerful Yendor the Magnificent. Rodney doing Rodney things. Rodney Goad came down the stretch, tied up with my boy Jeff Castellina. Both former guests of the podcast, both friends of ours. And it was a tight race, man. Coming down to the last two holes. They were going on to hole 17, and Rodney and Jeff were tied up.
Wish I could have seen that.
I know,
That
right?
would have been fun to watch.
You know, I read today that was Jeff's third time playing the Solstice, and it was his third second place finish. And I was like,
No
man,
way.
That was a crazy one to finish on a second again on.
Wow.
Dang.
You know, I got thrown into the tournament the last second. I didn't think I was going to play, so I ended up
You
playing,
and Rodney.
I didn't. Right. So I ended up playing on the MP40 card, and I played with Jeff Castellino the first round when he shot the 10 down. Like, it was a lot of holes we were going back and forth on. I feel like I was pushing him. He did better because I was shooting.
That's
like,
cool.
Better, not much
That's how
better
he
than I did the
plays.
first
That
round.
would not
Yeah.
surprise me one bit. No.
And it really surprised me because I saw them tee off the second round, and I saw Rodney's drive and his, like, you know, standard flick shot, big footstep. I could hear his footstep from up the hill. And he throws a decent shot, left-hand side flick, and it ended up with maybe 25 feet. And I saw Castellino try to go up the middle and hit the tree or something. I'm like, that's not a good sign because Castellino's like a robot. You know, when this
Yeah.
guy gets going, he's like unstoppable. I didn't even beat him the first round. I'm like, gosh, it's my course. It's my home course, and I can't beat this guy from Sharp Springs.
I mean, especially if he
He's
gets
killing
in
it.
one of the circles, man. That
Right.
guy,
Oh, yeah.
his short game
his
is
putting.
Woo!
Yeah. Okay.
By the way, folks at home, again, keep it real for the folks at home. I every once in a while get a handful of messages from people asking who in the area should they get private lessons from, and I always at the top of my list is Jeff Castellina.
True.
Because he
All
does
right.
give private lessons, and he's a beast.
I've
And
taken
He won the
putting
putting
lessons.
contest.
Yeah, I've taken putting lessons from him.
You
It
have.
helped.
Yeah.
Most certainly did.
He got
Definitely.
first place in the putting contest. I got second.
oh, you took Dr. Horn's money?
Congratulations.
Oh man, that was so epic. So
When I pulled out of the parking lot, it was
thought you
between
got
Marcus
it.
and
yeah,
Dr.
yeah, I
Roy.
got second. Yeah,
He
Did he
got
come in
second.
last minute or
second.
something? I thought you were in first.
No, so I knew that Catalina had like 30 some odd points. I was like, well,
Oh, wow.
I'm not
Oh,
going to
wow.
beat him. So I was like, who's in second?
He's
Dr.
killing
Hoy's
it.
like, yeah, I got 22 points. I'm like, that's something I can go for. So I go up with my $5, pass it off to Jamie. Shouts out to Jamie Miller for helping out. He was over there
Yeah.
running the putting contest all day in a
Hot day.
sun, and he did great getting all the water and ice out. So 2 golf snaps for him. And then we got over there, and who was it? Zach walked up, and I was like, Zach, you got 22 points, bro. I'm gonna try to get
Take
in your,
some of
try to
your
get in your
money.
pocket, man. Get in your pocket. And
Robbing
so
him.
I get down to my last putt, and I immediately turn around, look at Jamie. I'm like, Jamie, count it up. What did I get? What did I get? And I got 23.
Nice. Oh, that was sour.
would, dude.
Poor Dr.
So-
Hoy.
So this was the key though. On the right hand side we had wardens, and on the left hand side we had judges. And I'm a big fan of wardens, but only from like the first 20 feet. And then like after the first 2 sets of puttings, I went over to the judges for the longer putt. You know, start off with stable, and like the farther away I got, I was like, okay, I need something a little more understable. And I kind of told Dr. Hoy, and I don't think he took that advice. So, Dr. Hoy, next time.
Next time. He's got to listen. Take
It's
your
all
advice.
it's all relative, man. Because I'll tell you, like, some people would probably, in my mind, I'm going opposites on the stability factor that you have in your assessment there. I'm thinking if I'm going for more understable, I'm throwing a warden. Although I guess a judge is probably more glidey, so it could also be
Maybe with the bead.
yeah. It
Makes
makes it a little bit floatier, more like a dagger or something like that, I guess. Deep dish. I don't know. We're just speculating now. We're just throwing all kinds of wild accusations out
I
there.
got lucky.
Sorry, team judge, if we've offended you.
Comes
Super
to
happy
knowing the
get-
discs, that's this one. I'm learning them slowly but sure.
I had a brief love affair with the judge before I settled on the warden, and then, of course, the EMAC judge came out, and it's over.
It's your new baby now?
Yeah, it's my new baby. I got a whole box with my stamp on him.
There you go.
Very nice.
Yeah, I'll
That's what
hook you
I'm
guys
talking
up
about.
before you take off. Yeah.
Yes, please.
Yeah. So Sad Dog Discs. Let's get this out of the way. First of all, a little bit of false advertising happening here because I've seen some sad dogs, and your dogs have it pretty good. So
They're quite spoiled.
They're a
They're
little-
spoiled rotten.
I'm going to show you this picture. We had to find
Where
this
sad
one.
dogs came
they
from.
they bring them
Yeah.
to the course in a horse trailer.
I think everyone wants to know where Sad Dogs came from.
Well, I grew up with a Great Dane and loved him, obsessed with him from the get. So when we got together, I told him, I said, I'm getting a Great Dane. He's either going to be mine or ours. And then we both just became obsessed with the breed. So then we got our second one. And he looked like the Benjamin Button of dogs.
The white way. Is that not the grumpiest
He's just
looking
grumpy,
thing?
sad.
You gotta send me those. You gotta send me those.
Oh,
So
yeah.
when he was just a few months old, he was
Cutest
the saddest
thing.
looking dog you've ever
Yeah.
seen.
It looked like he was just no is everything. That was
Yeah.
the only thing he said.
No, no.
No. He was so sad. So that's where it started. And then when he got older, he turned into the goofiest, craziest,
looking dog.
happiest. I mean, he's dumb as a box of rocks. I love him to death, but he's not a smart dog.
That's not a good name for her.
In the
Not a
sled
smart
dog community, we call those wheel dogs because those are dogs that may not be the brightest tool or sharpest tool. See,
tool in
I'm
the
painting
shed.
myself into a corner. I realize this, but they'll push or pull anything you tie to them. So yeah, I know that kind of dog. It's like a Malamute, whereas a Siberian Husky might be your lead dog. You got a Malamute as the wheel
Yeah.
dog. That's
Yeah.
the one you tie the heavy stuff to.
There you go.
I
Yeah,
can imagine a
muscle
Great
dog.
Dane would be good for tying heavy stuff too. They probably just.
I don't know.
Is there a breeze?
The white one is like dumb strong. I mean, he's
Scared.
he can pull like a train. It's
Yes,
crazy.
yeah, he's really he'll play tug of war, and I finally put a rug down in our living room, and it went from no traction, and you'd win tug of war all day. I put the rug down, you lose. We ripped so many toys because he'll get a hold of it, and if you don't let go, you're breaking the toy. He's strong.
You guys are probably leaving a killing on the table, not like setting up a stand at the end of your driveway and charging kids for wagon rides.
That might not be a bad idea.
You know,
I'm just giving away $1 million ideas.
there you go.
I got asked that the other day if they could ride him. I said it's a quarter a ride. And he said, Dad, I'm riding them all day. So I way undercut myself. There. I
don't-
could have got
Was
at
that
least
Telly?
$1.
It was Telly, wasn't it?
I think so.
I think it was Sally. I don't know. The Django's pretty skittish. I feel like if you put anything heavy on him,
Django. I always remember Jasper.
Jasper's the gray one.
Right. Okay. Jasper is the gray one.
Django's
is
the
white
logo.
one. Django Unchained. Man,
Yeah.
those dogs are something else, though. I mean, I am definitely that guy that'll go over to the party and make friends with the dog.
Oh yeah.
I'm here for the dogs. We're just the animals.
We're the treats.
Yep. Yeah, they let us live here. Yeah, that's
There you go.
Yeah, so man, God, you guys must have you would have to have a big house.
No.
About 1,150 square feet.
Dude, they just like ride on your shoulders all day or what?
With virtually no yard. So
Yeah,
that's how
the
we
yard
got
is
into
small.
disc golf. Is but
You just
before
do
we
bench
even-
presses with Great Danes. That's how you
There you
train
go.
for your tournaments.
We got to get some exercise somehow.
Some heavy
right?
dogs.
But
pump you up.
Here you go.
when we first got Jasper, we were living in an apartment. That was no bigger than the house that we live in now.
Yeah.
And, I was telling her, hey, if you're gung-ho on getting this Great Dane, we need to
I
get
was.
in some sort of hobby that can get him some exercise.
Daily, something we can do daily for him, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So found disc golf. Some buddies had shown it to me a few months ago, and I kind of liked it, but never really got full into it. And then
Yeah.
once we got Jasper, I was addicted
Yeah.
every day.
Yeah.
Every
and then
day
Jasper
Crockett.
became
Crockett
easily
Park was one.
addicted.
And when your dog's legs are that long, it's almost like to get a regular walk, you got to let him run a marathon.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They
They,
can
run the field. I mean,
And disc golf is hiking with a purpose, essentially.
Yeah. I like when people ask me, I'm like, yeah, it's a course in the woods. So you were hiking when
Pretty
we play.
much.
So
Hiking with an objective.
yeah, there you go. There you go.
And then you go hiking, you're like, man, where's my disc?
The
One
game
thing-
within the game.
One thing we failed to do was teach the dogs how to go get the discs or go sit next to them. Like, hey, I found it.
That would have been a great.
Man.
That would have been awesome to teach them. I don't know if they'd do it.
I've seen one dog actually do the latter that you just mentioned. Kim and Ed Birdie had a dog for a while that is no longer with us, but I remember playing rounds out there, and the dog, like if somebody threw off the fairway, the dog would disappear. And as you got halfway up the fairway, you'd just come around a tree line and you'd see the dog just sitting there up off the fairway. And that was what it was
that's
doing. It was
cool.
marking where the disc is.
What
that
a
went
smart
off.
boy.
dog.
That's the
was a
that's
girl.
the goodest boy. The goodest girl. The goodest girl.
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
not be, doing the whole whatever.
Assuming the
Yeah.
identity.
Yeah, gender misappropriating stuff.
It's 2020.
That's why the
Canceled.
dogs.
Canceled.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was like, but they always have like mutt dogs. And it was just, that was the dog's thing. It just liked to go
That's
sit next to
awesome.
Frisbees. I don't know.
We've been told multiple times to get saddlebags so they could carry our discs, but I don't think they'd stick around us.
That's the bad thing is like, you get a caddy and it's always like, all right, are you going to be there when I need you? Or are you going to be like over talking to Simon Lizotte?
Right.
Like, you know what I mean?
Django
Fanboy.
would be in the creek.
That's what I was
Yeah.
thinking too. Yeah.
Django would
Definitely
be in the creek. We always have to get him out of the creek.
Well, if you throw in the creek, then you know he's going to be where you need him.
This is true.
Yeah. So when did disc golf start for you guys? How did that happen? And how long have you guys known each other?
Been together 4 years?
4 years.
About 4 years, yeah.
It's a good run.
Jasper's about 3.5, 4 years. Well, he'll
We
be
got him
4
at 6 weeks, so
Yeah.
ever since we got Jasper,
Say about
we've been
3.5,
into it.
4
So
years.
yeah,
Okay. Yeah. So you can thank
Heavily.
your dog. Your dog is your
Oh,
disc
yeah.
golf father. That's pretty dope.
for sure. Yeah, and we got into it heavy too. It wasn't like a lightly. As soon as we got the dog, as soon as we got disc golf, it was daily.
Yeah, I felt like I met
Daily.
you guys and then I saw you every day.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's how a lot of our disc golf friends was.
Yeah.
Kind of met him and then every day afterwards.
Yeah.
So you guys met, got Jasper pretty close together.
Within 3, 4
And then
months.
disc golf?
Something like that. Yeah.
So
yeah.
this is like a whole maturation story of your relationship,
Yeah.
your children, your existence within the sport.
You got it.
Revolves around disc golf. Yeah.
This is your beginning. This is where it all
Yeah.
started.
We
It's a
loved
good way
it
to
so
look at
much.
it.
We're like, hey, let's revolve our lives around it.
It's powerful.
Let's do a business.
It's powerful.
And it's been thriving. I mean, we love it. We have a blast every single day. We both get to work from home and focus on the business when we can, and it's awesome.
I mean, that's dope. I know a lot of couples that disc golf becomes a point of contention for, so the fact that your guys not only both share an appreciation for it, but the fact that it's part of your foundation, that's huge.
Yeah.
That's ginormous.
It's a good way to look at it. I didn't even think about that, but yeah.
It is.
That's
You
pretty
guys always
awesome.
have
Very
that to fall
important
back
part.
on.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's interesting because, it the nature of disc golf is it's almost a spiritual pursuit. It's a mind, body, spirit kind of
Yeah.
thing. And
be
So to
one
have
with it.
that as a root for your relationship, that's probably sturdy ground to build on.
I
It
agree.
was definitely a lot of bonding time when we first got together. Get on the course, just me and him, learning how to play the sport together, I think was a big thing that
Oh,
bonded
and you
us
see
too.
everything that a person can
Yeah.
like, I'm telling you, like
You see the anger, you see it all when you're learning how to play disc golf.
because when I got into disc golf, I was going to all my buddies that I knew like had never played it, and I was like, you got to try this thing. You got to. Sounds stupid. No, you're gonna try it. And you see a side of this guy that you've not ever seen, and you've known him for 5 years.
They get mad, and then the passion of I need
You
to hit
guys
this
just
shot.
snipped right through the bullshit. Sorry, I'll just go ahead and put the perfume.
There you go. Where's that?
Ha.
There you go.
Yeah. So you guys just cut right through the bullshit. Got right
Yeah.
into. You guys got like.
Indeed.
What did I say at your wedding? The flaws that you don't show each other until you sign a lease together, or something like that.
There you go.
Yeah, that's dope. No,
Yeah.
I mean, like, and so you guys are just full throttle, like living the dream. And so all the chips are in with Sad Dog Discs. And how did the idea for the business come about? I think we talked a little bit about it after off the air, but it's again one of those things. And this is probably controversial to say, but I was saying it immediately at the beginning of the pandemic that it was the best thing that had happened to some people because you gotta. I mean, like I know for me. Like I've pretty much been working, but I was basically on call for like a month and a half through like March and April. And so I was only working like 1-2 days a week maybe.
Oh wow. Yeah.
But just that opportunity to push pause and kind of be still
Yeah.
and reflect was something that I felt like a lot of people
probably appreciated it.
probably appreciated, but probably even more people just totally did not take it as an opportunity for that. And I think like a lot of people like weighed on people and became like a source of mental illness and like anxiety and stuff.
I've heard a lot of my coworkers say it was pretty.
I asked you a question, then I ran my
Drowning.
mouth though.
There's a question in there.
Idea for the business. When did you think of starting the business?
Well, it was. I guess we'll start with. I was wanting to start a business for as long as I've known her, and before that, I kept threatening, and she was like, "Well, put your money where your mouth is, huh?"
Pretty much, yeah.
But it was kind of a perfect storm. You know, I'd been laid off from my current job due to COVID, and you know, we'd had some savings, and so I was like, "Hey, if there's ever a time, it's now." And
Yeah.
why not a disc golf business? Because look at the growth that this sport's having right now, and so yeah, we decided to pull the trigger on it, and we started November 1 of 2020, and
Officially, yeah.
it's been
His
a
brother-
lot of fun ever since.
His brother helped with our name. We were trying to think of what flows, what can be our look, and we're all about our dogs. So his brother one day was like, "Django's sad dog discs," and we both kind of marinated on it for about 2 days,
Yeah,
something like that. Yeah,
Thank you, Will.
shout out.
I mean,
his
it
brother.
rolls
Yeah.
right off the tongue.
It
dude.
does, yeah.
It's got a ring to it.
sad dogs.
You know, we got why not happy? Why not happy dog? I was like,
Yeah.
that doesn't.
It just doesn't flow.
Maybe
It doesn't
now
have the-
because
It
he's
sounds kinda
happy
forced.
looking. Yeah,
Kinda. But then you look at the dog and it's the polar opposite, so then it sparks conversation. Like, how'd you get sad from that? So
Well, I mean, the breed, you know, the facial, the bone structure, the musculature. A happy,
sad.
a happy
Eeyore
dog
looking,
can
you
look
know?
sad.
yeah, he's.
you remember Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh?
Oh,
Eeyore.
I lost my tail.
Yeah, you can tell we've done that a couple of times with that dog.
That's an old,
missed opportunity.
old
You could have
show,
named him
guys.
Eeyore.
They're showing our age over here. Watch
Oh,
out.
sorry.
we wanted to stick with the J's, Jake, Joe, Jasper. We didn't do that intentionally.
I realized.
We never did it intentionally until we got Django. Because when we got Django, his name was Casper.
Jasper and Casper.
Jasper and Casper. We were both like,
That feels gross.
do we want to try that? And we both were like,
Are
no.
we those people?
Yeah, so we eventually thought of Django. Was my dad thought of Django?
I can't remember.
I don't know. He thought my dad picked both of our dogs' name probably. Shout out to Dad. But yeah, we got a Django, and his brother was like, D, no D. We're like, no. No.
I'm about to get real relatable with you guys. So I have a cat named Neil Patrick Harris.
NPH.
I like it.
All right.
Yeah. Somebody told me once that it was a missed opportunity to have named him Neil Catrick Harris.
Oh,
However,
I don't know.
I then informed him that his nickname is Doogie Meowser.
I like it.
that's That's a good one.
That's a good nickname.
I rarely miss an
Also
opportunity
showing our age.
without creating a better one. So, just saying.
I like it.
So Sad Dog Disc comes about. You guys, you throw all your chips in. When you say you started in November of 2020,
Legally, we
Yeah.
started.
Legally
Yeah.
started.
So
I'd
you-
been collecting for a while.
yeah, you started. You formed an LLC or just incorpoted, whatever.
Sole
So did you
proprietor.
create a website? What was actually like the first business you did?
Well, I guess the first decisions were to get kind of a brand. So we worked with.
And you don't have to tell all your trade secrets on the show.
Oh no, it's pretty.
Take it as far
pretty
as you
simple
want. Yeah.
stuff with business. We had to get a
We
logo.
just
Had to get the website.
dived into it.
Who made the logo?
I did, for the most part. Well,
She came up with the initial design,
Yeah,
and then
off
we
the
had.
dog's
She kind of said that really fast. I was like,
It's the dog's face. It's mine.
he's called it before and was like,
who
we
made the
had
logo?
this person. He's done that before, and he was like, well, we did this person, and she did the cartoon version of it. And I was like, hold on now.
Yeah.
I drew the initial,
Yeah.
but then we sent it off and got it permanently fixed. But it was the dog's face.
She wants her
Vector,
portion
like
of
you
her
had like a
credit.
graphic.
I
artist.
take credit for that. I love our logo. I'm
No,
proud of it.
I did the logo for the Mike Lynn Classic, and I felt the same way. I'm like, hey,
Yeah.
I made it. Had somebody perfect it
Yeah, exactly.
because they knew how to work the computer.
The
and
crisp
all that.
lines.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you
They
know,
touched it up.
What else?
There you go.
Vector points.
Vectoring.
Yeah.
I can't do vectorings, but hey, you give me a pencil and a pen. Like, watch out.
Yep,
Maybe a dry erase board.
pretty much.
And I love your logo too. One, the concept, I mean, like the brand, Sad Dog Discs, I feel like the logo and the artwork style, it's very in line with each other. It's like a traditional, almost like cartoon animation.
Yeah.
It's not all like flashy, angular, like neon lights and all
Yeah.
this stuff like everything else has got.
Yeah, when I see it, I think I'm like, okay, he's got the disc in his mouth. So like, if you don't throw the disc with him, he's gonna be sad.
I mean, like,
Yeah.
if you don't like dogs and you don't like discs,
You're a
I don't
sad
really
person.
care if you're at my tent anyway. And if you don't automatically like hear about a sad dog and you want to like investigate and make sure it's all right, I mean, like that's just good biz for one thing. But like
another way
I
to
don't,
look at
you
it.
know, it's like you're weeding out the riffraff out of the crowd. It's
Yeah.
you know,
Did y'all do the,
dogs and discs. You don't like that? Or are you communist?
You know,
Crazy
it's almost like
person.
song lyrics because everyone has their own interpretation of,
Yeah.
of what it is or how it came
It
about.
evokes a feeling, an emotion.
Did you do the Google search and search like those two names and see how much they're like searched every day week? The what's it called? The statistics or the analytics behind
beginning?
That would
behind
probably
Sad
been
Dog.
smart. I don't think I
do
did
that. Okay.
Yeah,
I mean, you guys did it right because I
Thanks.
know the hype built slowly because I started hearing Sad Dog Discs. And I'm like, what is Sad Dog Discs? That's kind of a cool name. Oh, it's, I had no idea it was you guys. And then I'd see you at Seven Oaks and see the dogs. I'd be like, hey, what's up, guys? Be like, all right. Walk away. And I'd be like, yeah. And somebody's like, oh, well, so who's doing payout at the solstice? Oh, Sad Dog Discs. Who is Sad? Oh, see you guys. Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey,
we're
Jasper.
walking right next to you. No clue.
Yeah, and then it was, and then even we did the players meeting video over here with Ruthie, and she was, Sad Dog Disc and Sad Dog Disc, and I was going, Sad Dog Disc. They're doing payout for a beat here now. This
Sticking in
Sad
your
Dog
head.
Disc is serious. I better find out who these people are.
Yeah,
Well, yeah. I
So-
mean,
knew us the whole time.
So,
we've got a really solid group of friends that help support us and get our name out there and
Solid group.
wear our shirts when they play. And one of them actually just won the MA2 division
Will
in a
Gannon.
3-hole playoff. And it was
Nice.
Yeah,
exciting to watch.
that was cool
Shout
to
out
watch.
Will.
Yeah, shout out to Will, Patrick.
Russ,
is- yeah,
and
we had
Brandon.
all
Squad.
those. Yeah, all those guys were out there wearing our shirts. Jono,
Jonah.
Jonah. Yeah, they were all out there.
I've
repping
always been
Sad
on the
Dogs.
fence about how to say that guy's name.
Well, there's
Oh,
two. We got
Jonah and Jono.
Yeah,
Oh, so it
there you
is
go.
Jono.
Yeah, and then we got Jono.
Okay.
Jono and
I know
yeah.
Jonah Cavalier is who you're
Yeah.
talking about. Okay, yeah.
And then Jono.
And then Jono.
Who
Jonah.
else was out there repping? the
Jono,
shirt?
man, you guys are making
Brendan.
this way more complicated than it needs to be with your names.
They were all out there repping those. It was cool. It was. They've been full support all the way. It's been awesome.
So the is vending and doing like and payout. What is your end game? Like, do you have a vision for the overall scope of the business that you're aiming towards, or and you don't again, I'm not asking you guys to give away your trade secrets. I'm just kind of curious as to what your strategy is because I think the timing couldn't be more perfect, and I kind of hinted at this before the show, but it's like the universe creates these things these things happen, it's like too perfect.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's like a hole opens up in your operation, and I'm just speaking from my experience with the club. It's like we found ourselves without an AM payout vendor, and then all of a sudden there's a sad dog. Who the hell is these guys? They're doing the AM payout. Okay, cool. Then, but it's just like perfect.
Couldn't ask for better timing. On
yeah.
that one.
So what's in the future for sad
So
dog?
we're our original goal was to eventually get to a point we could vend and actually travel with the tour around the country. But the more we go and the more we get instilled with the MCDG and the veterans group and stuff like that, the more instilled we are right here in Nashville. And so
Our little bubble right now.
there's been talks of doing a brick and mortar here in the future. But
Still definitely
Still
want
up
to be
in
able
the
to try
air.
and travel, but yeah,
We
we've got
might-
ideas floating that are all over the place, but
we might turn it to where we just vend regionally, southeastern region kind of thing. But
we enjoy vending. It's
I
a
mean,
lot
at
of
this
fun.
point, you really can't go wrong, man. Even just regionally in the Southeast alone, or any region, at this point, there's
so
100
many
events every
tournaments, yeah.
weekend, and they all fill up in 5 minutes. You
take
Yeah.
a pick, right?
Yeah.
spin the globe, put your finger down.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean,
Go where
and
we
that's how
want.
people are signing up for events. They're like, oh, this weekend, dang, 100 miles away, sold out. Crap. All right, 110 miles, sold out. Crap. All right. Oh, this one is 200 miles away, and I can get in.
There we go.
It's a seat here.
And
That's
it fills
okay.
up in 3 minutes.
And
Right.
Yeah. And they're gone.
Yeah. So, I mean, so that, in and of itself, and this is a weird thing because you don't want to spread yourself too thin,
Exactly.
but you also want to think creatively because brick and mortar is hard to do. It's a tried and true traditional model, and traditional models are breaking right and left these days. The COVID really, another thing that it revealed to us is
Yeah.
the necessity to lean heavily on technology and digital forms of commerce and communication. But there's an interesting doubled edge to that sword in that the industry of disc golf is at a burgeoning stage right now where the right idea can make you $1 million.
Yeah.
You're not wrong. There's a lot of money flowing.
There are
into the
things
industry
out there
right
in
now.
disc
Starting to
golf that are
boom.
still not being done already. So if you can find yourself, it maybe even not necessarily an idea that somebody else isn't already doing, but if you figure out a new way or
Yeah.
an improved way to do something that nobody else is doing yet, and then you establish a brand on that.
Yeah.
There's all these different opportunities, and I think, and I might just be haphazardly just throwing her out, here, take my advice, I'm not using it kind of thing, but I think that's going to be where you're going to you're going to be able to take advantage of opportunities that present themselves as if you don't pigeonhole yourself and you don't tie yourself down into one particular corner. Because if you are able to say that, you got one NT right here in Nashville, and then Jonesboro isn't far away. There's, Idlewild is close. So you can do the big events without having to break the bank in travel expenses.
Right.
But then you also got to realize, and talk to some of the people that travel to these events and do vending, and it's a walking a tightrope trying to make sure that you meet your bottom line and actually have a profit margin.
Yeah. Making sure you're
It's expensive to
coming
travel.
out.
It's
on
almost
top.
like a brick and mortar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of hard
They
to
all
lot
have
of
their
expense.
hoops you got to jump through for sure.
Yep. And that's, another reason to think creatively, draw outside the lines. I mean,
I like your advice.
this is, also when you first saw it, now it's become like a standard business model or a standard operation procedure. But you see, I remember when Eric and Tina first hit the road in the Whale Pants RV.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that to me, I saw them do that, and I was like, that's going to change the game right there. They have a business outside of how they're performing in tournaments. They are creative. They are generating a ton of media content. They're engaging. They're relatable.
They're both great players,
They're going to
too.
develop a following. Both great players, so their names are on leaderboards. I mean, but just how accessible they are too, is, and genuine. So, but I knew that they were doing something that it started with the whale sacks, but now they've got all this different stuff that they do, and they can sustain themselves traveling around with the tour, whether or not they win the tournament or they're in the top 5.
Yeah.
And that, I think, is the stronger business model. So it's, finding those ways that you can have a reliable income from something that you have all the rights to.
Yeah.
Right.
You know.
I mean, and look
Right.
what's they kind of spawned the idea to a lot of the pro players too. I mean, look at you got Gary Gerthy's jerky now, and
Who else?
The Paul and Beth Foundation. I think he's doing some
Yeah.
different things.
Well, I mean, disc golf strong. I mean,
Yeah.
that really opened the door for a lot of people to just be like, well, I can do what I do, figure out a way to tie it into disc golf, and boom, there's an audience already there waiting for
Right.
it.
Kevin Jones Coffee. That's
yeah.
one.
There's
Is he
another
doing
one.
coffee now?
I thought
think,
so. Wasn't it rumored that he was trying to do
Didn't
it?
McCabe already do coffee once?
No, but you got Birdie Fuel, and
Birdie Fuel,
everybody
that's
has
what it
had
was.
Yeah.
a flavor of Birdie Fuel. Did you
Okay,
know that
that's what it
Black
was, that's what it
Monocle,
was.
Donnie Bannister, Black Monocle Disc had his own
No way.
Black Monocle flavor of
stop
Birdie
it.
Fuel. It was like
Cool.
called Cobra Strike. Cobra Strike
I like it.
Colombian, or I don't
Yeah.
know, it was some kind of coffee Cobra.
Coffee
Sorry,
Cobra.
Donnie. I'm sure it was lovely. I'm sure it was
Yeah, you
great.
just murdered
coffee.
that one.
I want to try it.
Yeah, I mean, holler at Donnie Golf Staff's Donnie Bannister. I am going to get you that basket, Donnie. I promise. It's just everything's sold out. So, yeah, I mean, do you guys think? I mean, what are your interests outside of playing and just purveying fine plastic? I mean, do you have any interest in designing discs or gear, or do you have anything that I don't know, some kind of burning passion in the back of your mind that you are still looking to find a way to tie into all this, or you just wing, or are you just
I'll let you
winging
take
it like
the
me?
reins on that one.
So I guess our ultimate vision is to kind of develop Sad Dog into like a lifestyle brand, if you will. You know, there's been talks about moving it to like even like a sporting and outdoor company,
Yeah.
that sort of thing.
Rumored
and
that between
incorporating
each
more
other, yeah.
things. But we really want to splash our name onto cool attire. You know,
Be
something
involved in a bunch of different stuff.
something that
kind of thing.
you would want to have with you and or want to wear or something like that. So
A lot of
eventually,
branding.
You should
Yes.
take this shirt right here and just do that same design with this shirt.
There you
Just
go.
Dude, that
Yeah.
logo looks
Oh,
fly.
yeah.
share a
on
table
Polo,
cover.
man.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Little Sad Dogs all over the
All
table
over, yeah.
covers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's how we did our table covers, and they look really good. They
No
look,
way.
Yeah,
I could
they were
totally
fun.
see a podcast backdrop with sad dogs all over it.
Okay.
Black background. That's what our tablecloths are, except I'm worried about fading, but hopefully that's not an issue.
Hey,
But yeah, you kind of
there has been worse than fading in podcast backdrops in disc golf. I don't know if you guys remember the Disc Golf Pro Tour live coverage stained sheet from a couple years back. Nate and Val standing there, and they had like somebody hung up a bed sheet behind them and it had stains on it. And they're doing the live broadcast with
Oh,
a
goodness.
stain.
Oops.
I mean,
Somebody didn't check that one first.
I find it entertaining because dude, they're like the myriad of technical difficulties that we have experienced on this podcast. Like the fact that people got so bent out of shape about that stained sheet and like lit them on fire on social media about it. It was just laughable to me. I'm like, at least you didn't have a podcast where you're sitting at a table with Brian Earhart, James Conrad, Paige Pierce, and you record like you got like 5 of the top 10 people on tour on one podcast, then you delete all the files before you export them.
ouch.
Thanks for saving that one, Dr. Hoy. Those are no longer available on the internet, but they will be remastered and released soon, so you guys can look forward to those. But yeah, I think I named that one like the Doomed Podcast or something like that, and then I gave Dr. Hoy my laptop for a week and a half, and he somehow managed to resurrect the files.
good.
So it was a long story.
Well, you know, that's what happens when you have an influence. You know, if you make one mistake and the pitchforks come out, right? So,
Oh, dude, you have
Yeah.
no idea.
Yeah.
You have no idea.
Got to be careful.
Oh man, probably the worst idea I ever had was to like plant a microphone and a camera in front of my loud mouth.
I think
'Cause
that's a good idea.
I thought that like I was saying plenty, but you would be surprised how much stuff gets read into the things that I'm not saying. Yeah, there's all kinds of lines apparently that people read between, and I just feel like I just never stop talking. So I feel like I've been pretty clear on how I feel about everything.
Pretty blunt there.
But no, then it's like I start hearing from people every time I drop an episode. I get phone calls like, "Yeah, there's some people that feel like maybe you should have been a little bit more conservative with your choice of words." It's like, whatever, dude.
I can't get over your accents.
I do a lot of them.
They're just
It's kind
too
of my
good.
thing. No, I'm just like,
you haven't heard the funniest one. Okay, so I play some video games occasionally. Like all professional men.
oh,
do.
the Russian voice.
You knew exactly which one you were talking about.
So I was like, dude,
I commentate
You do
on his
commentary.
Rocket League play with a Russian accent.
Oh, that would be fun.
Like he's
Fantastic.
flying around. I'm like, oh yes, I float over your head and boom, I knock ball straight out from under you into goal.
Really good.
I love that.
What up? What up?
You can make a living off your
We'll
accent.
do this.
Start doing cartoons.
Ah man, if only. If only.
You gotta
No, I'm
take
just gonna stick to a podcast
the American
that
Russian
nobody
cartoon.
watches.
Ooh, controversy, huh?
Whoa.
Dude. Okay.
Talk about reading between lines.
You guys
Yeah,
know.
yeah,
You guys
it's
know Sean Phillips,
Sean.
Jerky Boy.
Yeah.
Always buys all the club's jerky at WNT. Some people call him Gump. Some people call him Mose. I call him Mose. But real tall guy.
Real tall
see your
guy.
face.
Always has boots on.
Always has
Yes.
boots on, flannel
Think so,
shirt.
yeah.
Usually looks like he just crawled out from under a truck. Smells vaguely of barbecue and regret.
Was ready to help on the drop
Love
of
you,
the dime.
Sean.
This guy's so helpful.
It's all said with love.
I don't even know why I got onto that subject now.
That
Beef
train
jerky.
derailed.
What were we just talking about?
We were in the moment, man. I don't
We
know
were
what
talking
happened.
about accents, and then we
Yeah.
drifted. to-
Accents. He's been hanging out with Wiley Nelson. David Wiley Nelson.
Okay.
Also, former guest of the podcast. What up, David? Wiley. So Wiley and him apparently have created a character in a show, and it's like stop motion animation. They've been building the characters with like popsicle sticks and cutouts and
Oh,
stuff
God.
like that.
Cool.
But I want to say that the guy's name is Lazy Eye Larry, and so he's got like eyes that point in different directions, and the core like the jingle, and you see like the little guy's thing and dance around him just like looking up, looking down, come on down to Larry Town or something like that. But it's
Sketchy.
there's something there.
I like
looking
it.
up, looking down, come on down to Larry Town.
I like it.
I'm into
much
it.
better.
This
Between
little
the lines?
motion
I'm gonna
picture.
wait until the pilot drops. I'm gonna check out the pilot, and then I'm gonna decide if I'm in for the first season. I don't know.
Doing those little motion pictures, that's a lot of time.
I don't want to do the editing on that video, but I'll do some voices.
That would be fun.
I'd throw down for some voices.
Editing on those is time consuming.
That's the overall vision for the Last Cash podcast, is just to build a resume so I can go do voice work,
Yeah, so we can.
so I can quit my bullshit job.
I just want to see some like animation characters of ourselves.
Oh, dude, man, you know what? I would love it.
caricatures.
Yeah,
You guys know
yeah.
like there's somebody that does like cartoonizes the Joe Rogan podcast, and they like, and then they'll chop it up in different segments and like do cartoons along with what they're saying. It's
That's cool.
hilarious. Like you get on Google and look up Joe Rogan cartoons.
I think give me your best Django voice. I feel like
That's
you'd do
not
a good
one.
one.
I've only seen that movie once, and it's been a long time.
I mean, our Django.
Oh,
There you go, Scooby Doo. There you go.
that
was on point.
Okay, aka
That was on
Scooby Doo.
point. There you go. Same thing.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So I mean, really, right now, man, you guys don't really have to. You could just straight up do and pay out at tournaments. There's enough tournaments. to
Well,
go
that's
around.
the near future plan. I mean, we're up for Independence Dubs here in a month or a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And then we'll be doing the Cane Ridge Open in early August, and then I don't think we'll be doing any payout for MCO, but we'll at least be there vending.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we'll be doing
Yeah, and payout is going to be restricted
Yeah.
to
to DD.
DD.
Yeah,
To
I
DD,
thought
yeah.
so.
But and that has less to do, and of course everybody's got their. This is one of those things people like to read between the lines on, but the straight up fact there is, you know, the Music City Open has always been evolving, and when you look at national tour events of the same caliber as what the Music City Open has become and is becoming, you know, we always get lit up on social media because we always try to have lower entry fees, a strong players pack, decent payout, and do all of those things kind of evenly with a balance. But then what ends up happening, because we're trying, because I mean, you look at like Glass Ballon Open for years, it's trophy only for the amateurs. You pay this exorbitant entry fee, you get a badass players pack, and then they have bonus payout for the top 10 in each division only.
Okay.
So, and they're allowed to do that. So
Leadstone does the same.
That's the place we've
Did
been.
they?
Yeah, that's the model for that size tournament. If you've got an A tier that's concurrent with an Elite Series event, I mean, you're handling that volume of people. You can't do payout right for that many people all at once, and then. This is the real difficulty, is because when you're dealing with one of these tournaments, it's still obviously got a local area supporting the event. And then the locals feel like the local vendors should get some love. And the staff usually feels the same. I know I do. I always have. And so you try to spread the love around the people that have supported your organization, supported your events for the years.
Yeah.
And also always do what is best for the players. But it gets to a point, man, where you've got 500 people, 600, 700 people playing in your event. 2/3 of those are amateurs. You've got you've trying to create options for your players, so you've got 10 plus vendors handling amateur payout. How do you do that? Do you do vouchers? So how are people making change with vouchers?
What if they want to spend some of their voucher at 1/10?
That's what I'm saying. How do you make change? Because like one way we tried it with a dozen vendors is we gave every vendor a different colored Sharpie. So, okay, if somebody comes up with a voucher and you have to take some of their voucher, but leave them, you use this color Sharpie to mark it out, write the new amount. They take that off to another vendor. Yeah, you know how long that one colored Sharpie lasts?
Not 400 players worth.
Not 400 players worth.
Somebody walks off with it.
Yeah.
So then you've got a high volume scenario where people could just be writing whatever the hell they want on these vouchers, Yeah. And so, or how else do you do it? You do funny money. Okay, so we did that
Monopoly,
too.
Yeah, Monopoly.
We created our own. We called them Maley Bucks because Andrew Maley was our financial officer. So we had Maley's face. Well, at least I made some.
That sounds like Usher Bucks. You heard about that?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. But we did funny money. But then it's like, well, what bills? How many of which bills do you print, and then how many of each do you give to each vendor, and then how much extra do you have on hand, and then
Lots to calculate.
You still end up within 30 minutes to 45 minutes running out of two of the bills that you need the most of and you didn't plan for.
Dollar bills only. Go to the vendor, make it rain.
Yeah, boy.
Make it rain. I like it.
Then the winners
I just mentioned Usher Bucks and making it rain.
So,
okay.
but
first place, gonna leave it out there.
Yeah. But that's the thing that people, your average tournament goer never thinks about that kind of thing. And, maybe they should run a tournament before they complain on Facebook. That's
if you didn't know,
neither here nor there.
Take the TD test.
A lot goes into a tournament.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so now, we're very steadily working our way to that point where it's going to be a top 10 bonus payout in each division for amateurs, trophy only scenario.
It's national tour. It needs to be there.
Yeah. And I mean, it's like and then it's everybody like wants the tournament to be one thing or another thing, because at one point it was just a big regional A tier, and it was the one that everybody, we get to come to Nashville and play all the Nashville courses. I mean, you can come to Nashville and play all the Nashville courses anytime you want. I mean, why do we break our backs for this tournament if we don't want it to be as successful as possible? So, I mean, but that's the thing, is like your flagship event, you want to make it for everybody. You want to have open to all divisions. If you can get it up to an Elite Series event, great. That's obviously the top of the list, the top of the line there. But not every tournament needs to be that tournament. You know what I mean? Like you can, and honestly, we're at the point now where you're seeing all these historic annual events filling up with amateurs in 5 minutes, and the people that have played these events for the last 20 years aren't able to play them because they aren't able to wait online with their finger ready. But you've got a lot of excited beginning players that are just looking for stuff to be a part of. So, I mean, I'm thinking this is an opportunity for people to think creatively and have a vision and come up with something new that's exciting and engaging that all these players want to do. And then you kind of start to separate the crowd a little bit, where everybody can go and compete against their division rather than have to compete with every other division for all the limited resources that the tournament has.
Yeah, fair fight for everybody.
Right, because you go to, whether it's whatever Elite Series event or any major, and you always have certain divisions, the smallest divisions, feeling like they were not well represented at that event.
Yeah.
Like the resources that were available to the tournament did not go to something that mattered to them.
And now you got
But that's the nature of the event. You've got to fill up the whole event, not FP40.
right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, at some point, if you've got 160 players in MPO and you've got barely 4 and one's on the fence in another division, it's like how can you justify diverting a bunch of attention and bandwidth to?
How you divvy that up like that? Yeah.
You know, when courses like Cambridge have, 2 courses on one piece of property,
Yeah.
that's when like you can really help the AMs. You know, take
An
care of the
easy
pros
course,
over here,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And you take care of the AMs over here, and that way you have like ample space. You know,
And that's really all
the
I'm
only
saying.
time you can be like really like truly there for the players when you have that much real estate.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and not everybody has the same access to space and stuff like that for
Yeah.
sure. And
Parking.
that's a given. But I mean,
parking, yep.
you look at like MTDGA has been doing that for years with the Barfield Open and with
Exactly, yeah.
Skeeter Heater. They always build a temp course on the property. So they have
huge
2
temp course.
courses. And they've always done B tiers that way. So, I mean, it can be done. And that's what I'm saying is, and this probably comes down to a lot of things in life, but there are 2 kinds of people that like, this is what we've got, this is what we can do, and we're just going to do that. Or it's like, well, okay, I understand these are the parameters of what we have available to us, but should that limit our imagination or
little
our
creative.
thinking?
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
should that
Think
keep,
outside the box.
yeah, should that keep us, confined within this one area, or can we start thinking creatively and grow it and then just figure it out as we go?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm a big
Wing it.
advocate of the wing
Wing
it,
it.
wing it strategy. I always have been, to a fault, but yeah,
It's not a bad thing.
it's a new. I mean, man, I could guess in equal parts for somebody getting into business like that right now. It's in equal measures terrifying and also really, really encouraging, just because the way the industry is growing around the sport, but also, I mean, everything's still so speculative.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, we've got the best problem you can have right now is all the demand we can ask for, but not enough supply. And while that's the best problem to have, it's still a problem. And it's something we have to tackle every day. We were thinking for a short time that we were going to have to shut down on Sunday at the solstice because
Stop bending.
we had to provide payout, which means
Yeah.
we had to have a decent selection, and we were getting hit hard.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
We didn't have to
anymore-
stop, thankfully, but
Anymore, you bring out frisbees, everybody comes running.
yeah.
Which is another interesting thing to talk about. You guys opened up right at the beginning of the big. Whoa. Chair disengaged. Get a little too comfortable on the mic there, Will. But no, you opened your doors at kind of a pivotal point, and then everything changed.
yeah.
So if you had a business model when you opened the business, that probably got wadded up and thrown out the window immediately.
Very quickly.
How long did your original business model last, Jake?
I mean, that's just one thing you don't really consider when you're thinking of inventory or vending. That sort of thing is, can you even get the product in?
Yeah.
Do you have the capital lined up to get the product in, and then can you get the product in? And it's just one thing as a first time business owner, I never thought about being a problem. And
Yeah.
Well,
it's
and
one of our
especially
big-
as quickly as everything changed, because I imagine that you correct me if I'm wrong, but I would imagine that you were ready to pull the trigger on a whole mess of stuff, and then you went to order it, and people were like, "No." Is that pretty much how it shook out?
yeah,
yeah.
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
we're to a point now with certain, I won't mention names just in case, but with certain companies, we don't even get to pick what we're getting. We
Oh,
just-
yeah.
we
Discraft?
He'll mention
I'll
the
do
names
it.
for
I'm
you.
not scared.
We just say, give us an order. They say, okay, here
Yeah.
it comes.
You
And
get a
in
mystery
7
box.
days.
Yeah,
You get a
pretty
really
much.
big mystery box.
So
Yeah.
far, it's been an assortment of
Really big,
gorgeous,
really expensive
but,
mystery
Yeah,
box.
you don't get a pick.
Yeah,
Now,
well,
with
that's
that being said, they've sent us some truly good.
Beautiful.
I mean, it would have
Beautiful
been what I
product.
picked anyway.
Yeah.
well. I mean, who has ever bought a mystery box and gotten all crap?
No.
that's
There's
not-
some gold in
That's
there
not how it
somewhere.
works. Yeah,
Yeah.
You might have a little bit of crap,
You're
but
gonna get some negative feedback if it's all crap.
right for sure. Yeah, that's not gonna. That business model will last about as long as your original one did. But
At 2 seconds, it's out the window.
how? I mean, because were you planning on going bigger at first?
No,
And
I
then have
mean,
to scale down what you were thinking, or was it how terrifying was it to have pulled the trigger on starting a business and then watch every business in disc golf like go all stop everything.
Yeah, it was.
Because everything almost shut. Everything.
It was,
Like
Yeah.
it was kind of scary.
MVP warehouse closed
A lot of
down right at the
warehouses.
beginning of the pandemic. Everybody thought it was going to crush disc golf. Like all the growth we'd had for the last 5 years was just going to evaporate.
But it was like the only loner thing people could go do outside with friends.
yeah.
So I mean, it was a tough situation, I guess you'd say. But you know, it didn't discourage us by any means. It didn't make me change my mind or second guess the fact that it was a good idea. And simply put, because the demand is there. You know,
Yeah.
we'll figure out the supply issues one way or another. We'll figure out, you know, if they're shut down, then we'll try to go to them. That whatever it needs to be. But people want to play disc golf.
Yeah.
Yep.
People want to play disc golf and they need equipment to do it. So as long as that is still the case, we're still going to try to be in business.
Yeah.
And I'm going to just go ahead and point this out there and try not to say anything untoward about disc golfers. But I'm going to tell you, I mean, and Marcus, you can kind of back me up on this. Just because there's no discs doesn't mean people aren't going to buy stuff. You know how much beef jerky the club has sold in the last 6 months?
We're out.
Yeah,
We
we
ran
sold
out
out
on Sunday.
on the solstice. Yeah.
No, dude, it's like people come to buy frisbees and they're like, "Oh, you don't have frisbees? I'll take everything else."
If you have food, okay.
Jerky, pins, hats,
Dr.
There you
Hoy
go.
calls me like the beef jerky master. People come up to sign up. I'm like, hey, man, what's up, man? Hey, how you doing?
some
Hey,
jerky?
Is it your time to play? Yeah, what time you tee off? Cool. Hey, you know you need some jerky, right? You got to take some jerky on the course with you because like,
We
you get
gotta
like
get-
halfway through.
Keep
you
your
know, we got
energy
the
up.
$5. I'll
Sustenance.
give you
Yeah.
2 for $10. We got the one big size. We got 4 different flavors. I mean, what you
Yeah.
trying to do? What you trying to do? You want some jerky?
gotta
down?
get
sales
Fine.
rep for
2
the
for
jerky.
down. Did you already get your jerky, right? Okay. Water and jerky goes good together. Just like, you know.
We gotta get
There
you
you
like
go.
we gotta get you like a jerky trench coat, like a Silent Bob trench coat for you to
Open
like
up one
open up and
side.
just have all the samples of jerky on the inside of the
I can
trench
totally
coat.
see
Hey,
him
bro,
standing
what
What you
you
need,
there.
bro? You got that? I got that garlic. I got that Asiatic. I got
Black
that.
that
crab
red
pepper.
pepper.
There you
Uh-huh.
go.
I got that gluten-free, baby, organic, free-range cows. What?
All the choices.
It had to be like navy blue with Tommy Hilfiger. It's like it's gotta be a nice one. You can't just have me like in some kind of like
Oh, dude, I can already
Fancy.
see the
Can't be looking
flyer.
like Silent Bob
Fancy
out
trench
there.
I can
coat.
already
yeah.
see the flyer. No, you open up the trench coat, you're wearing Apollo Creed boxer shorts on the inside, and you
you
just
go.
got jerky hanging all over, like without the bags, just like actual slabs of jerky
Dude,
hanging
I
on the
just-
Safety
inside.
pinned on the coat.
I just had an idea. You know, y'all need to make some sad dog boxers.
Oh, dude.
Get that
I'm
logo,
down.
that logo
I'm
printed.
down.
You know,
I like it.
Just one big
I
one
like
on the
it.
butt.
What do you call it? I'm gonna work on that.
Here we go.
I'm gonna refine it. I'm gonna refine it.
Yeah.
You heard
It'd
it
be
here
like
first.
sad
Yeah.
junk boxer or no
Sad
junkyard,
Johns?
sad junkyard dog. No, junk,
Sad Johns,
sad,
Johns,
Keep
Long
juggling,
Johns.
keep
play with
juggling.
those
sad
Yeah.
Jaspers.
Sad Jaspers.
Sad Jaspers.
And maybe
could be
sad
down for
Django's.
Man, it's hot out here.
There you go.
Django Johns.
Django Johns.
Oh, Marcus is on a roll right now.
Dude,
Keep the
that's
ideas
one.
flowing.
I'm out of here. Peace.
His job's done for the day.
That's my triple double. I'm going back to the
Clocking out.
bench.
Is it time for a break? That's a good time for a break. Right?
Actually,
I'm out.
I guess we're gonna take a quick break, you guys, and you can check out some of this footage from the solstice, and then come back and we'll talk about other
Check out
stuff.
some of my footage. Threes all day. Threes.
Doo-doo. Doo-doo. Doo-doo.
Oh yeah, no music.
What do we need music for?
I guess like a Knight Rider
Works.
remix right here. We need Dr. Hoy. We're a lot better with Dr.
Pelicans snowballs.
Louisiana shaved ice.
Trophies. I love the shorts.
Thank you. It's called pineapple combo.
Yeah, boy.
Pineapple does belong on pizza, folks. Any pizza. Any Hawaiian pizza.
Why do we always have to come back to the pizza or the pineapple pizza thing? What's up, John Lynn?
What's up?
There's John Lynn
How's it going?
over there.
About 5 down. Thank you, sir. Have a good one.
SadDogDisc.com for all your disc golf needs
Indeed. Indeed.
and dogs.
And dogs.
For good pictures of dogs.
Yes. It's a good follow. It's a good follow.
watch now, so.
See, fool me once. I'm saying
Nope.
fool me twice. Can't get fooled again.
Back when it gets like to 0.001.
What?
What?
Looking at some stocks over here. Like,
Oh, he's over here watching NASDAQ.
goodbye, Doge.
Are you a Dogecoiner?
I was.
Doge. Oh, my God.
Did it crash?
It's going lower and lower every day.
Now's the time to buy it, right?
It's it was almost at what 70 cents going toward $1. Now it's at 17 cents.
Ooh.
Oh, well.
You know why I just never really got on board with the made-up currency?
It's made up.
Made
Because
up.
it's made-up names, too. It's like the name isn't even real. It's like you just made... Like, that sounds made up. Doge?
That entire
Dogecoin?
currency is on
Good
a
luck
Yeah.
getting the South to say that right.
Could be Chinese. That's what I'm saying. I know, feng shui, bro.
They're going to be like, yeah, you know them doggy
Wind air.
coins? Doggy coins.
It's going to be stuck with me for the rest, forever now.
Alabama will never get behind Dogecoins. I mean, plus at some point, dude, I mean, how many different cryptocurrencies do you need? It's kind of like social media apps.
Oh,
Like,
yeah. Or
Facebook
toothpaste
does
flavors.
everything, but let's have one for pictures. Let's have one for just short text posts. Let's have one
Reddit.
for real long text posts. Let's have one.
Twitter.
Yeah. Snapchat.
I hate
Too
them
many.
all, dude. I hate them all. Instagram's like the most innocuous one, though. It's like, it's just pictures.
I have a hard time keeping up with any of them. Any
That's
of
one
them.
of our biggest struggles with
Yeah.
Side Doc is neither one of us are social media minded.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
I'm okay with putting my phone away and
But you have
just
to.
not even looking at it. So it's, especially when we're on the course, we don't touch them. So it's, yeah, it's hard to keep up with those. It's
Well,
hard to remember. Hey, go post that.
There was like 2 years where I kept saying, man, if I didn't have to promote disc golf stuff, I wouldn't mess with Facebook.
Yeah, that's the only reason I'm on Facebook. Is for
Yeah.
disc
Well, and then I realized
true.
I don't have to promote tournaments. I just post them on Disc Golf Scene, and before I can even post the flyer on Facebook, damn thing's already filled up. So,
at this point, yeah.
bye Facebook. Like I still have an account, but I took
Yeah.
the app off my phone entirely. Like, I deleted it from my phone on the way back from DDO, and I just recently reinstalled the app on my phone. But I've got notifications off for all social media apps and Messenger and all that stuff. Like, the only thing I've got notifications on is text and email and phone calls.
The important stuff.
Right.
Well, I mean, for me, whenever I'm trying to like have a great idea, I usually turn my phone off.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
you turn your phone off. I'm like, oh shoot, I forgot to do this. This is happening. Holy moly! Let me turn my phone back on so I can do this.
Dude,
Gotta
it's-
catch up now.
But then
Yeah.
you get it's crazy because I was weirded out by how in the loop I always was. Somebody would ask me about something, and be like, "Oh yeah," or I'd hear somebody talking about something, and I'd be like, "I know everything about that."
I couldn't.
Read about it 3 days ago.
And they're all like, and you just watch people spreading misinformation, and you're just like,
Let it go. Let it go.
And then now it's crazy. I've pulled this complete 180, and like I'll get random phone calls. Like my aunt was sick for a while, so I was in Chattanooga for a week. Like I got back from DDO, I was here for a week, and then I went to Chattanooga for a week. And I got a call from one of my friends here, like, dude, what happened with blah 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 blah? And I'm like, I don't know.
Don't know.
But I'd been getting cryptic text messages from Telly all day, like asking me like, "Oh, da-da-da-da-da." And I'm like, he's sending me like screenshots from Magic's Greatest Secrets Revealed from 2006. He's like sending me a picture of the cover of that, and I'm like, I don't understand what you're saying. And then I'm getting phone calls like, "Dude, what happened?" I'm like, "Dude, I'm so out of the loop." And
You gotta
then
decode
it's almost
things, yeah.
infuriating. Because you're the only person that doesn't know what's going on.
I'll tell you what's infuriating is when we haven't caught up on your Jomez coverage. And then this one gets on Facebook, and you know exactly who won, and we hadn't gotten there yet.
You're a spoiler person.
I'm not.
Oh,
Oh no, he gets.
But you're
spoiled.
like-
I get mad because I'm like, don't tell me, and he refuses. One time I
That's
asked,
what I'm
and he's
saying.
like, no.
Oh man, you better not go back and watch any of the previous episodes because we talked so much crap about people that get mad about disc golf spoilers.
No, I don't get mad about him. No, I thought it was funny. He just won't tell me. He'll be like, I know who wins. I'm like,
I'll
okay.
just be rolling through.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's the worst.
That's what he does. To
You're
me.
the worst.
That's what he does.
Like it's like you can't just be like and silently appreciate it and be like, I know something you don't know. You're like, I know when. That's a dick move, bro. But no, my thing is like the people that comment. Like, okay, we have a podcast, right? We have social media pages for the podcast.
Of course.
If an event happens, and it's happened 2-3 days ago.
Yeah.
And then we share a post from Gatekeeper or a post from one of the people that's been on the show before about the event that already happened. And we share it and say, hey, what do you guys think about this? And then some douchebag goes, thanks for the spoiler. I haven't gone to watch it yet. And I'm like, dude, come on, man. It's not. This isn't The Walking Dead. This isn't Better Call Saul. This is an athletic event. Like, dude, you're gonna get it spoiled if you don't watch it when it happens.
Or
like,
stay
it's
off
gonna be
social
spoiled.
Show up.
It's an actual event that is
Yeah.
actually happening. It's not like the comic book came out yesterday and now your friend has the trading card. And like, I mean, come on. Like, this is disc golf. There's no spoilers.
No, the spoiler is when you miss the disc drop.
Right, yeah.
That's a terrible spoiler.
Yeah, but I'm just like, at the same time, man, it's like, how are you, like, I understand, like, maybe having a really iconic or epic shot spoiled for you, like somebody, like you walk up to say hi to somebody and they turn around and they tell you all about Chris Clemens smashing and like having a chain out on a hole like with water behind it or something like that, and they describe the whole thing before you get a chance to see it. It's like, I mean, but if it's like if you're talking about the MPO and FPO winners, if you find that out before you get to watch it, it's kind of like, I mean, I was going to find out about that like
Eventually.
Yeah, it's. You know,
Yeah.
You can't keep that really a secret. You might not want to be on social media if you're trying not to find out about something like that.
No, and then when, if you're actually trying to cater to people that don't want to be spoiled on it, when do you drop it? I mean, how long does that take?
I mean, you got to
Is that
put
a day?
spoiler
Is it
alert
2
at the
days?
very top.
Yeah.
Yeah, and all caps.
48 point.
Yeah.
It's like, spoiler. Okay, goodness. Cut my eyes out.
Good to know.
I mean, I'm going to be real careful about putting like a legitimized word like journalism on what we do here at the Last Catch podcast, but I will say that like the lane that we drive in is kind of journalism. When we're talking about disc golf and what's going on in disc golf, and we happen to record on Monday night, so it's like if a tournament just happened this
On
weekend,
Sunday, right?
You're
You're
gonna
gonna
talk about it. Yeah.
You're not
for
gonna
sure.
wait till
that's the
next
whole reason
Monday.
we do it on Monday.
Yeah.
Well, why not do it on Sunday night? Maybe there was a lightning delay. We don't know what happened. It was
True.
like, well, we're going to sit here for 20 minutes and say, like, well, it'll be really interesting tomorrow when we find out who won.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know. It's so obviously we talk about nothing and everything. So we're not at a loss for things to discuss, but it's still, I mean, I don't know.
Jump all over the place.
It all
Speaking of
revolves
which,
around disc golf.
here's a spoiler. Shout out to Sarah Sinclair and Stone Smith, who are out in Utah for the Pro World Championships, getting some practice rounds in together.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Shout out to Harper Thompson for getting second place in the Magic City.
At the Magic City Mega Bowl, the young man rumble.
Right behind Joey Lutz.
Very cool.
Harper's killing it these days. He won the Mike Lane Classic. Did very well there in Cedar Hill. I was
Didn't he win the Barfield Open this year?
He won everything except like one tournament he got last cash or something like that. And I think he might have had a cold that day.
He wasn't in his best game.
Yeah.
Let's see
But
what wins he's got this
Harper's not best game is like everybody else's best game.
year. All right, he
Yeah.
won the
Oh,
Shelby
for
Shootout.
sure.
He won the Dog Hill Throwdown, Nashville Disc Golf. He won the Barfield. He won the Mike Lane.
Yep. He's on a
Yeah.
Slaughter
On fire.
Everybody tour 2021.
Yeah. On
Let me
fire.
see.
Yeah.
What?
Dude, and this is the amazing thing about Harper, and you can go back because we just had him and John Williams on the podcast. Right, they actually came over here to record the commentary for the Seven Oaks Open, and couldn't get to the video in time, so we did a podcast. But I've had Harper on the show like 3-4 times, and I've known the kid since he was knee-high to a G.I. Joe, and I mean he's always been that impressive just as a person.
Yeah.
You know, he's fully present. He's very articulate, very intelligent. Got a great head on his shoulders. He's very composed, very grounded. He's a person that you feel good about spending time with. Like you feel like time in the company of Harper is not time wasted. He's just a solid kid, man, and his thoughts and his insight into the sport. I mean, you would think the kid's been playing for 20 years to hear him talk about the way stuff works. It's really, really impressive. And I love, not only, I mean, like, he's making great media content. His YouTube channel is really, really impressive. I mean, and all of this stuff this kid has been doing since before he's graduated high school. But
That's awesome.
I love hearing him do commentary, and I've done commentary with him before, but you can go back, and not only was it the first time I ever did commentary, but it was also like, I was super distracted the whole time because Harper started talking, and I'm like,
What he says makes sense.
It's good info.
Yeah.
yeah,
You fanboyed over him.
he hyzered it.
What disc does he use again?
Harper,
No, just joking.
Prodigy discs. I don't know
Something.
Yeah,
He's got an H1N1.
Thinking about Harper, I highly doubt he remembers this interaction, but he was one of the, if not the first player, like, roughly 1,000 rated player that we ever saw play. And it was when we first started at Crockett, and we watched him. He was teeing off on 18, short pad.
Did everybody start at Crockett?
With a putter.
Yes.
I learned how to play Crockett.
He was teeing off with like a PA3 or something.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we watched him just lace like 2 or 3 in a row.
Mind blowing.
And I was like, wow, that's great. This kid can really play. And then I asked him, I was like, what are you throwing there? And he's like, a putter. And I was like, are you kidding? Okay, how do you do that?
I feel terrible now.
Yeah. I can't get there with a driver.
Dang.
I used to play in the same division as that kid, and I remember here's a funny story from one of our favorite tournaments, Chains on the Links. Shout out to Kevin Turner down in Chattanooga. He runs this tournament called Chains on the Links. If you've never played it, you should go down there in October. It's on a golf course, a beautiful golf course.
You got like 6 minutes to get in this tournament.
Yeah, it fills up quick.
Wow.
It's literally one of the fastest. I've never ever gotten a call from somebody like the day before, like, hey, dude, tomorrow at 8 o'clock, you're going to be, no, actually 7:56. Yeah, you should be on your computer.
Yeah.
Go ahead and put your information in. And as soon as 8 o'clock hits, pay.
It's a crash.
Yeah.
You might get in.
Website might break down.
You might get in, but yeah, be ready.
And it's for a whole lot of reasons. I mean, Chattanooga's dope, for one. The property is amazing. It's up on top of the mountain. So it's like you've got 2 courses,
Gorgeous.
beautiful rock formations. It's also just a hell of a perfectly run event. Kevin Turner is a genius. And his wife's not too shabby either. Shout out to Danya. You're also a mad scientist. Have you ever had her trail mix? Oh my gosh.
I don't think so now.
Oh, you got to go play Chains on the Links just to get Danya Turner's trail mix. But
Okay.
anyway, this one year, most miserable conditions I've ever played disc golf in. And it was like 30 degrees, sideways rain, just blowing sideways rain. Miserable, dude. And I started out, it was obviously it's a field event, and our group was me, Alan Posey, Josh Major, Andrew Maley, and Michael Coyne. So it was all
Sounds like a fun group.
we were all on the board of directors for the club at the time. And so we started out as a 5-some. We were the only group that left as a 5 at the beginning of round 1 and came back as a 5. And I'm pretty sure most of the groups on the field were a 5-some when we started.
Oh, wow.
Every other group but ours lost at least one person before the end of the first round. That's how bad it was.
Some hard conditions.
Dude, it was bad. And by the 13th hole, I was completely saturated. Every stitch of clothing I was wearing was completely soaked. And my fingers were both pruned and numb. And it hurt to try to put them in my pockets to get them out of the wind. It was bad. And it was funny. I remember at the very beginning of the round, I was going Josh Major, he was going, oh man, I don't know, this sucks. Or no, maybe it was me at the beginning saying, this sucks, dude. I don't want to play. And he's going, no, we got it, man. We could do it. We got it. 15 holes in, he's going, oh, this sucks, dude. I think I just want to go. No, dude, we're almost there. We got to finish. I think if it had been any other group of guys, we would not have all come back. But Harper was playing. We were all playing an intermediate, and Harper was out there too. His mom was pregnant at the time with his sister. And so she was very pregnant. Harper is a small person, and it was nasty out there. And I'm saying, I'm pretty sure I don't have any business being out in this. And I'm seeing Harper and his mom walking around out there, and I was like, this is madness. What's going on here? So we get back, and Josh and I immediately jump in my Jeep and turn the heater on full blast to start taking our clothes off and hanging them over the vents, trying to dry them out. We're sitting in our underwear in the Jeep eating our lunch. The windows are all fogged up. And we're looking at the tournament results and seeing where everybody's at, and seeing different posts and stuff. And I saw a text. Harper's mom had texted me and said that he had to withdraw. And I was like, man, neither of you had any business being out here like that. And then like I thought about it for a second. I said, me and Josh talked about it. And we're going to get him something nice for dropping out because it was the only way we were going to beat him.
That was your thank you for him.
Yeah.
Thanks for letting us win.
You get a Frisbee for letting us win. For quitting. But, I mean, and that's the other thing,
I'd be in
too.
the car.
I mean, even then, and that I think at the time, at that point, he was probably 14. And just the character in that kid, like having to drop out for, even though it was totally warranted, it just crushed him. You know,
Yeah. He's dedicated.
You know, oh yeah, dude, he takes it super serious. And I mean, it's interesting because most kids his age, if they're taking it serious, it's almost like they're taking it too serious.
Yeah.
It's
like
their
their
only
life.
thing in life.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Harper, he'll drift away every once in a while and just go do his own thing. It's like when he got his driver's license, he was out cruising around with his girlfriend, and you'd see him show up at a tournament, and he maybe not play that great because he's just doing other things at the time. He's also, I think he's up for valedictorian of his class. He's a senior now, so he has
Congrats.
stellar grades. The kid's
good.
rocking out, man, and so it's dope. It's dope to see him like still being like passionate about disc golf and doing well. It's cool.
Yeah. He's fun to watch for sure.
20-minute segment on Harper.
Yeah,
You're welcome.
Yeah, thanks.
It's gonna
he's
be
an
fun to
impressive
watch
young
him.
man.
Yes, he is.
Watch him grow.
We got a bunch of those in Nashville, though.
Yeah.
Bunch of young
Starters.
young studs, and I mean, even the MPO players. Like Jared Forlines. How about that guy?
Yeah.
He went on a heater in the second round.
Yeah.
Climbed up like 5-6 strokes in a hurry.
I think you finished third.
Yeah, and who? Because obviously Snappy won, and then who was right behind him?
Michael, was it
Michael-
McDaniel
Mikey.
came from behind, and because he was on the
I
chase
think it
car.
was
No, he was-
Mikey Harold.
Micah Harrod, that's right.
Harold.
Oh, Mikey Harrod. Yeah,
No.
Mikey Harrod.
No, Michael McDaniel tied for 5th.
Okay,
He had a
Harrod.
rough second round.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's
Oh my
what-
God.
He
He
played
probably
good
had
in-
more twos than
he played
anybody
better
on the whole
in-
course, and then everything else balanced out.
He can slaughter that course, though.
I had 4 twos and somehow I beat him. I'm like, what? Didn't we see a scorecard? It's like, holy moly, it's a roller coaster. Heartbeats, you know. just-
2-4, 2-4.
I was talking to him before the second round. I was like, he was wearing his boots, and I was like, maybe you should go get your sandals.
Yeah, it's flip flop
Yeah.
time.
He
And he
plays
was-
better
yeah.
in his sandals.
He said, nah, I was like, well, maybe you get the sandals and you put them in your bag. And so, like, you walk up on, say,
good
hole
luck.
12, and you're just feeling it. You just throw on the sandals real quick, ace it, put the boots back on, no harm done.
Boom.
Yeah.
You know?
I like the plan.
I do
And
too.
He could make something like that work. I would feel like that was way too complicated. I'd end up stressed and having an anxiety attack and like just I gotta quit. I gotta go to the car right now.
I'm done.
Hey, Will,
Hey Marcus.
when was the last time we did a tip?
Oh man, it's been a while.
It's been a while. I know I couldn't wait to say it, bro. I was thinking to myself, I was like, he hasn't heard this in a long time, right? Right?
Tip of the week.
The tip of
Just
the
the
week.
tip with Marcus Rogers.
I know, right? You guys are definitely in a different area as far as like the tip of the week. So what kind of tip do you have for disc golfers or vendors that are just getting into it?
Hey, that's an interesting spin.
Right?
Tip of the week.
So I usually ask people like, hey, give us some kind of like form practice technique tips that you usually have. But, you guys are on a different playing field.
Mine
I'd
would-
say if you have an idea, I'm gonna take one out of Will's book here, and
which will we know like 4 now.
You mentioned
one
like
right
3
here.
of them for
Okay,
sure.
this one. Okay. Just confirming.
no, I mean just because you don't have a solid writ down plan that's foolproof doesn't mean that it's not a good idea. If you've got an idea and you like it, then go for it.
I like it. Mine would be stay calm. Keep your patience.
Yep.
No matter what you're doing, if you're playing, if you're vending. I know there's a couple of times where him and I were like, okay, we're getting overwhelmed. Break down, calm down, and we kill it. Do the same thing on the course. If you're getting mad, calm down and kill it.
I would say that is probably an often overlooked component of processing high periods of high emotional intensity is high emotional intensity. I was like, something doesn't feel word salad.
English, darn you.
I think that's a big part of the lesson or the wisdom that's gained with just time spent and experience and age is allowing yourself to feel the emotion, acknowledge it, and then let it go.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the hardest part. And that's another reason why disc golf is such a unique pursuit, because it has a way of teaching you these lessons that can be applied to your life in a very overall way, but in these little microcosms, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like you have a bad putt. Like maybe you had a sick drive and you just whiffed the putt. And then you 2-putt coming back. And it's like, oh, you just turned a birdie into a bogey. And then you beat yourself up about it. And then because you're beating yourself up about it and you're pissed and you're not having fun anymore, you throw bad off the tee on the next hole.
Gets in your head.
You're acting like a dick to your card mates. They don't want to play with you the next time that's Tuesday night dubs, or the next time after you act like an ass and you get paired up with somebody and they go, oh, Jesus. You know, I mean,
The vibe's off.
Yeah. And so that's like, but I think a lot of people either give in completely, because that's the instinctual thing to do. It's like almost one of two things. You either give into the emotion, dive into it and react and put on a show, or you block it out and you just pretend it isn't there. This didn't happen. I'm not reacting to it. I don't feel any kind of way about it, and you ignore it. And then you have 15 of those holes, and then on hole 18, you really end that thing violently. You know, like you're kicking somebody else's bag in the creek.
Oops.
You know? But that's to find a happy medium, and in an adult and mature way, get that emotion in your hand, look at it, and be like, yeah, boy, that really sucked. Let's just tuck that away. Forget it for now. We got work to do. A lot of golf left, you know.
Here you go,
Accept
yeah.
it, own it, let it go.
And that's just a kind of a metaphor for life, too. You got to take the moment to understand and really appreciate, like, boy, this sucks. All right, go to work.
Yeah.
What are you
That's
going to
right.
do? You know? But,
Yeah.
yeah, and that's, but, you know, as we say, a metaphor for life, business, all those things. It's good stuff.
Yeah.
You guys have opened my eyes to the possibility, because I mean, like, dude, if you do it right, you could. I mean, you guys are just getting your feet under you right now. I mean, and figuring out what your process is going to be.
Yeah.
I'm trying to back you into a corner and tell me all your secret wisdom and strategy and all that stuff. But it's going to become what it's going to become. It's kind of like a podcast or a song or something like that.
Yeah.
It kind of evolves and creates itself, and you're there to witness it and help it be born and all that stuff. But
Kind of help it push it along the way. Yeah.
yeah, there's a real high ceiling for you guys. There's no limit to what you can do. I mean, the market is growing. I mean, there was a time, man. I mean, like when the Nashville Disc Golf Store opened, you know, it was a big gamble. It was a roll of the dice for Sean to throw all of his money into that and open up that store.
Yeah,
I mean,
for sure.
There was no guaranteed return on that.
Especially with the high-priced real estate.
And he's had a hard time from periodically keeping the doors open, and you know, and that's always going to be a struggle in a growing place like Nashville. But you know, that's the great thing now is there's a ton of disc golfers out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all over the place now. And this one's full of ideas, so we'll...
when I was in the warehouse in Emporia, I think I said, "Isn't it funny? All these years, we've had all the plastic and no money. Now we have all the money."
No plastic. No plastic. Can't
What,
get it.
what has that been like? I mean, to try and manage an inventory. I mean, because that's really, if you're in retail, managing an inventory is the most complicated part of the process. And then you throw the COVID wrench into it and the disc golf explosion wrench. And I mean, you, obviously with some vendors, you have no choice of what you're getting. So it's like, is it the way it appears that people will just buy whatever's available? Like to some extent? Like they're so hard up for discs right now that they're just going to see some kind of pretty plastic on the shelf and be like, "Ooh, give me. What is that, a
Frisbee.
diamond?"
Yeah.
Okay.
I will definitely say people's perspectives have broadened a little bit on it. You know, what maybe a customer that was dead set on a DD3 is now open to the idea of a Shrike or open to the idea of something else that might be something comparable, because we're not going to see those for a long time.
We did get a good amount of people come up to us and they're like, "Do you have this?" We're like, "No, sorry, not yet. No, we ran out of that, or someone just bought the last one." So you do have some people who are like looking for a specific thing because they can't find it. But yeah, a lot of people are, like you said, broadening their minds to trying different things. So it's kind of cool to see everybody. A lot of people were asking him like, "Well, what flies close to this and this?" And he was able to help a ton of people out this weekend. So it was fun.
I've always thought that the reason why people develop a stock of discs, you know, back at home, you got that bag of discs that you're not going to use, but you still want to keep, that you're not going to sell to anybody, that you still have a feeling for, you know, I can say as much as I want to about that, I guess. But eventually, like as a disc golfer, your game gets a little bit better, hopefully, and then those discs that you couldn't throw before become
Yeah.
a big player in your game.
Yeah.
So that's what I do myself. It's like I'll have discs that, it's way too stable for me. And then like next year, I'm like, oh, yeah, I can throw a little further
Yeah.
now. I can get that stable to store you out and maybe like put it on a good flicker, the dynamic disc or disc graph or whoever you choose to buy your plastic through.
Oh yeah. Mine changed quite a bit when you went. He's my coach.
Yep.
Day one, coach on learning how to play the game.
Watch out.
Yeah. Went from standstill throws to walking off, and he was like, all right, now we got to upgrade your bag.
Yeah.
You got to get new stuff to throw now. So
Get away from the beginner and
yeah.
step up the speeds and stability a little bit.
You start with those air discs. And
Yeah.
move them to
Starlights.
There you
Yeah,
go.
the starlights, right?
Yeah.
Right. Bubbles.
Yeah.
And it's kind of interesting because I feel like the disc golf world at large is now living in the universe that all the old school Innova throwers have lived in for the last decade, where they're all throwing CE plastic that's going to break at any moment, and
Got that
they're
crayon
Don't hit
smell.
a tree.
so they've spent the last decade buying backups, spending thousands of dollars, and they've got them in an airtight vault with like UV control lighting, like all sealed and hermetic, all that good stuff. And now it's like, but I think it really affects the, you would think it would be like a detriment to people's exposure to the game, but in a lot of ways, I think even coming back from this is going to be easier than building up to another level because the disparity between the supply and the demand has created an opportunity for a lot of smaller companies to actually get some footing. I mean, Lightning is making discs again.
Really?
You go into Play It Against Sports, they got racks of brand new Lightning discs. Like
Good
P28,
info.
like all the
Is that like the company
planes
that's
on it.
the driver number 4? Is that them?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Flyers.
Yeah.
They're all named after planes
Oh,
back in the day.
Didn't I used to throw?
Yeah,
fun?
that was your favorite.
That was my favorite
drivers.
one until I outgrew.
We'll be on the phone with
We
them
got
tomorrow.
memories. Oh,
Memories,
that's-
yeah.
Lightning
Nostalgia.
discs
Back
used
when you were a little golfer and
Yeah.
you used to fly. Oh, you were so cute back then.
That's the nostalgia of disc golf.
Yeah,
right
there you
Yeah.
go.
And I love how like every disc has like a memory.
Yeah.
I've got this bottom stamp Wraith star that when the kids came out with like the bottom stamps. Yeah, it's got a black ace on it.
Oh yeah. He's got a black ace.
So every time I see that disc, I'm
Oh,
like,
yeah.
oh yeah, that tournament in Alabama. And that
Makes
one
you think
guy that
about
was
it.
like, you won't do it, and you did it, bro.
Those are good memories.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, Lightning disc used to be the thing where like that was how you knew who'd been around a while if they knew about Lightning discs. I remember the first time I ever saw anything Lightning is in the trading post over at Shelby Forest in Memphis. You walk in there and they've got like an old Lightning golf bag and
Very
a
cool.
bunch of stuff. But yeah, I was in there talking to Robert, that has he's the owner of the new Play It Again in Bellevue here, and he's got a bunch of Lightning stuff in there.
That's cool. Bellevue definitely needs a course.
Yep, I've been saying that for 6 years. The West Side is hurting for a course for sure, and everybody's
Yeah.
like, "Why can't we get it?" That's the problem. Is everybody keeps trying to get one in at Warner Parks, and that will never,
Right.
ever happen.
What's that group out there?
The Friends of Warner Parks?
Friends of Warner.
Yeah, every park has a Friends of group, and most of them are super cool. Like the Friends of Mill Ridge Park are dope. The Friends of Shelby Park and Bottoms are super dope. And I have never really had the pleasure of having a personal like face-to-face interaction with the Friends of Warner Parks, but it seems like they're just totally open to everything but disc golf.
Not open to the idea. of
Like
disc golf.
everything will be fine for the birds but disc golf. We're gonna
I'll
kill
open up eventually.
disc golf is gonna kill all the birds.
Darn.
Like we're all just Randy Johnson
I
throwing
mean, we're out
fastballs
there walking in. We're getting rid of all the spider webs. I mean, come on.
and the
Yeah,
bats.
right.
We got to get rid of all the bats
Yeah.
and all the possums.
I mean, as long as it's not like mosquito heaven like Sharp Springs, I'm okay.
Ooh. Sharp Springs is hard to play in the
I mean, if you
summer.
want to
Mosquitoes
really
are
find out,
difficult too, because it's a great course.
Yeah, it's
such
so
a
much
good
fun to
course.
play on, but
Until
then
you
you
get
just
the whole 16, you're
except
like,
for
and you
4 or
can't
5
breathe
months out of the
because
year.
there's mosquitoes going up your nose.
Hey, did you just have? No, it's you got mosquitoes
Yeah,
in your
it's
teeth.
yeah.
dude, you got protein, man. You're good to go.
Look like you got chicken pox, and it's just mosquito
Right.
bites.
We've got a couple of buddies that haven't played Sharp yet. We kept telling them
I'll
about
set them up.
May.
Oh yeah, that's
They're like, you're on
Like,
a timeline
go.
right now. You got like
Yeah.
2-3 weeks before it gets real bad out there.
Yeah.
And then it's unplayable.
yeah.
Beautiful course. Yeah, I agree.
You gotta be careful. They shut you in too. If you're not out by dark, We've had to call them before. We're like, hey, we got locked in. We were looking for a disc. Sorry.
Having too much fun, man.
Yeah.
Come on out, save us.
There's a couple of unfortunate things about that course, man. It's like just the lay of the land there to get to the course through the park. Like
Yeah, true.
the lowest point in the park is right there on the way to the disc golf
Yeah.
course. So if it rains for longer than 6 hours, you're going to have to take a break from disc golf for a couple days.
At least from that course you are, yeah.
It does not drain well.
Remember when the flood came a few months ago? That course was shut down for
Yeah, it was.
like
Oh,
3
yeah.
Oh,
weeks or
yeah.
something.
Yeah, it gets shut
Forever.
down for weeks, man. It gets bad out there quick too, and like
Muddy.
it doesn't even seem like it's
Yeah.
raining that bad, and then all of a sudden, next thing you know, it's just you're walking around in a swamp. And bad things happen out there when it starts raining, man. I have one. You should here. Case in point, in case you were ever wondering, you should not wear cowboy boots to play disc golf. I don't know. I figured that would be like a given kind of scenario, but my buddy Nick, one time we went out to play Sharp Springs, and sure enough, he wore cowboy boots, and I was just kind of silently laughing at him in my head until we started playing, and he was doing okay. And what hole is that? Is it 11 that like it's like you can either go over the top on the right or you throw down to the gap in the trees and then you
Yeah, that's 11.
11?
Yep.
So I threw over the top and then Nick tried to throw over the top and he almost made it. There's like that one tree on the right side of the gap on the far side that's like a tall, skinny cedar. And he came down through the gap and got stuck real high up in that last skinny cedar. So I come out and he's climbing up the tree to get his disc because there's no other way to get it down. And while he was climbing up the tree, I walked out and I tapped out for I think I ended up getting a 3. I look back and he's almost to his disc and he gets up there and gets his disc out and I was like, dude, you should throw from the tree. And it's raining at this point now. Like while he's been climbing the tree, it started lightly raining.
Oh, gosh.
And he's like, oh, okay. Throws, whew, parks it right next to the basket and proceeds to hit every branch on his fall down from the top of this tree.
No.
Boom.
Ow.
I go running over there, trying not to fall down, laughing. Get him up. He's okay, unharmed.
Oh, wow.
Miraculously.
That's impressive.
Also gets a 3. We go on to 12's tee pad, and then he spins out on the tee pad worse than anything I've ever seen before in his cowboy boots.
I was wondering where the cowboy boots
yeah.
came into play here. I
the
was like,
20, 30 minutes of him climbing that tree,
Climbed the tree
let the
successfully
tee
with the
pad get
boots.
nice and slick with that little bit of a drizzly rain, and he goes to plant that foot. Sure enough, that thing grabbed a hold of it about as good as turkey crap does in a 10 horn, and he just went and like flew through the air off the end of the tee pad, spinning on multiple axes.
Oh, gosh.
And it was like it happened in slow motion. And I just saw him doing the most epic, graceful gymnastics move, like some Neo in the Matrix type stuff, slow motion, until he touched the ground, and then it was all over. Then he gets up and realized he didn't have a cell phone. Then we went back and looked all over at the bottom of the tree, still couldn't find it. Yeah, dude. Just don't play Sharp Springs in the rain.
Oh,
and if you do,
gosh.
don't wear cowboy boots.
Cowboy boots are good for
I think
riding
everybody's got like that
horses.
one story. You're like, man, let me tell you this, man.
I got a bunch of them.
in the rain.
Can't think of Beth's son. What's his name?
Austin.
Austin. Okay, so Austin's on hole 12 at Seven Oaks, downhill shot, and a little bit slick. You know, not crazy. Me, him, Rodney were out there, and he goes up to throw backhand, and like falls off tee pad, like twists his ankle, like he's falling down, but he's still watching the disc the whole time. And he's watching it hit the ground. We're like,
Impressive.
Was it an
So-
ace run?
right. So he falls to the ground, like just like Homer Simpson, like
Yeah.
About aces it. Had to go to the hospital.
Oh,
Rodney
gosh.
takes him to the hospital. Comes back and finished the round. I'm like, Rodney, really? Did you come back and finish the round?
That sounds like Rodney.
Does sound like
Make sure he's okay. Well, he's in the hospital. He's fine. I played his round. So I mean, what?
He's in better hands than me.
He's got to finish. He's got to finish.
I mean, I'll go back and pick him up. He wants to finish his round too. I mean, no,
Dude, I've always said that there's like when it comes to your plant foot slipping, there's a split second. There's like a nanosecond that occurs where you are given a choice. You can either choose to commit to your throw or to saving your ass.
yeah.
There's
one or the other.
There's one or the other.
Yeah.
And that one moment draws out an eternity in your mind. You're like, right here, the disc is in the power pocket. There the foot goes. You look up, you see where you're pointed, and you're like, oh, this is going to be a great shot. but I'm gonna die.
Do I ever
Not
throw
gonna
again?
make.
What to do? What to do?
Finish the shot.
Finish the shot.
Fuck it.
Because you can't.
There you go.
Let it go and then die.
Well,
but
see-
I remember.
It's
Eat
impossible to stop right there.
Oh yeah,
It's literally impossible. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
You
oh,
usually
I'm
end up with the
slipping.
throw.
I'm upside down, but the disc is still leaving my hand.
Yep.
Yep.
Is it Kevin Jones that hit the
Oh.
ace when he wiped out on his knee?
Oh yeah.
That I could watch that
Oh,
shot
God.
over and
Oh,
over. That was
goodness.
so cool. I hated watching him fall, but the shot
Brutal.
was awesome.
Yeah, he hit that knee hard.
Oh,
Another Homer Simpson right there.
yeah. Did he have to get work on it after that?
Right.
Oh,
And the
no.
flight was so long, you had time to like talk. You had time to roll over and stuff. And then,
Get
like,
up, shake it off.
Right.
I was in Cedar Hill one time playing a solo round, and I ended up joining this younger couple, and we were on hole 10. We were throwing from the short pad towards Big Ben, and they were behind me, and I threw, and I had that moment, and I committed to the throw. And then as soon as the disc was out of my hand, I turned my attention to try to save my ass, but it was too late. It usually
always too
it
late.
One or the
usually is
other.
at that
It's
point.
one or the other.
But then you like turn your attention to what's about to happen to you. And there was like, I'm like, where did driftwood come from at Cedar Hill? But there is this giant log that looked like it spent about 30 years in the saltwater tide. And it was like, just had gnarly little spikes curving around, sticking out of it everywhere. And I'm going straight towards it at an angle, coming in hot. And like, oh, this is not good. Hit the ground, tumble, blah, 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 end up coming down backwards, kicking my feet over my head and popping right back up on my feet. And then I'm like looking immediately to see if they saw what just happened, right? And both of them are staring at their phones and they just kind of look up at me like. I was
They
like,
didn't see
"Oh,
anything."
What?
They
Did
didn't
I do
hear that.
And
just got away with
the
that.
dude kind of looks back up and he goes, "Did you fall down?" I'm like, nah.
No, it's all
No.
part
I'd
of
be
the
like,
plan.
no, man.
I'm standing back up now.
No,
I'm
look,
good.
I'm parked.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm parked. No, I fall down.
Yeah.
God.
They didn't hear it.
Yeah, you didn't hear the chains?
Can't fall down that gracefully.
I don't even know where the basket is, but more than likely, wherever I threw it, that's where it's at.
Yeah.
Goodness.
Money
You,
shot.
want to make bigger putts?
is
Grow
what
a
di-
mustache.
That's what disc golf is all about. Memories that stem from one disc.
Crazy stuff happens in disc golf, man. I mean,
Oh yeah.
and crazier, like, man, you guys don't go on tour. You don't want to, it will scare you. Stay at home. Nashville's fine. Don't go anywhere. People are crazy.
Tell them about the Valkyrie that you grabbed at Crockett, or we got in the first throw into the,
Oh,
into the island.
why? That was mean.
That's a story from a disc.
Yeah, well, that was the new Valkyrie we got.
Yeah,
Yeah, brand new Valkyrie. We were playing Crockett, learning.
first throw.
He got it. I mean, it just showed up. We just got it. And he was like, "You want to throw it first?" I was like, "Yeah." Hole 12 on Crockett. And went into that little island of trees in the dead center.
You know, like Narnia.
We looked for, like,
it just eats
an
things.
I lost
hour.
a nuke in there one time.
Could not find that thing. We
Little
looked
tiny
for
patch of
so
trees.
long. I mean, we scaled the whole thing. I was up in it. He was. I mean, the dogs were just sitting there chilling, waiting for us to get done. Never found it.
Wow.
First
We
throw,
got one
gone.
whole throw out of that.
Gone.
I think
I
everybody's
was
got like one
so
lost
mad.
disc at Crockett. Like really. I
Oh
gotta-
yeah.
I'm pretty sure I've got a lime green nuke in that same patch of trees.
Still there.
Probably. I had a Diamondback. Was that what it was?
A diamond.
Diamond. And I lost it. And somebody, I think it was like 2 years later, somebody called me. "Hey, I found this diamond at Crockett. Is it yours? Were you around anymore?" And I'm like, "I haven't seen that disc in forever." Didn't have the stamp on it anymore. It was brown instead of red.
I still once every 6 months or so, I'll get a random text from somebody that's found a disc that I lost 3-4 years ago.
Somebody called me from Oregon one time.
Oh yeah,
So
Oh,
dude
yeah.
found one. I was like,
We've
I
never
don't
been
know
to
how it
Oregon.
got to Oregon, man.
I've gotten
I
a
don't-
call.
I've never been to Oregon.
Yeah.
There's people here in town that like they've gotten a call about one of their discs. Somebody found it in Montana, or the person that is calling them is from Montana, found the disc at a course in Ohio, and like crazy, like a disc was lost by a local here in Nashville. A week later, it's in Oregon or Pacific Northwest or something like that. It's crazy how quick they can travel.
They go all over
Somebody
the place.
picked that disc up and got on a plane immediately.
Oh yeah. People do weird
Keeping
stuff.
this.
People do weird stuff for sure. There's also the time I saw somebody get their first ace. They've been playing for like 30 years. Got their first ace, counted for the other team. Voodoo Devils at Ogween. drive counts for the other team. Mac Farmer got his first ace.
Dang.
And I just hear chains. I turn around and I hear somebody laughing uncontrollably. I see him stumbling up out of the woods. What'd you do, old man? I found the ace. But it's for another team.
Well, that's the best way
one
you can
of the-
take the first ace in 30 years.
I mean,
Yeah,
he got
yeah.
the ace pot, but the other team carded the one.
Yeah.
Well,
Mixed
he
feelings.
still has it for the memory. I mean,
Yeah.
So my
conversation
first
started out.
ace was a black ace that
Oh.
I legitimately threw at the basket. I
Heartbreaking.
thought it was. We were up at Lovers Lane, and I threw backwards off of hole 9
Yeah.
to hole 10's
We
basket.
thought it was like a little baby hole. Yeah. And yeah.
It was my first ace, and
No
we knew
way.
it. as soon
You
as
threw
it came
from the
out of my
tee
hand.
pad and it went in the basket.
Yep.
It counts, man.
That's what we said. We wrote on the disc and everything, got the picture, and then we walked to the basket and we were like, that says 10.
Yeah.
It's like, why does that say 10? I'm pretty sure we're on hole 9.
It took us a minute to figure out, yeah, we were on hole 9.
You gotta, like,
Man,
turn
sounds like the
around-
first time I ever played Two Rivers.
You gotta turn around and take that picture backwards.
You just hit the mirror button so it fits the background. I was like,
There you go.
Yeah.
Describe this moment.
I remember the first
it's
time I
fun.
ever played Two Rivers on out there. It was like 2013. And,
It's back on the old design.
oh, yeah.
Oh, you're sweating, not breathing design.
You stand there on any tee pad and you like look around and you see 7 baskets within 300 feet. And you're like, And you look at the sign
one.
and you see vaguely the outlines of baskets, and then the rest of it, it looks like somebody just came up there with a generator and a buffer and just went,
Figure it out.
like, what do you do? And then you like pick the most reasonable looking one and you play to it. Then you look and you just skipped 6 holes. You're like,
We've
How
done
did
that before.
how? Then you're trying to figure out how was I going to play 6 holes and end up right back here.
This doesn't add up, right?
For anybody that's watching, this was the problem with the previous layout at Two Rivers.
Shout out to Jonathan High for fixing that problem.
Oh, yeah.
And
That
then
course
shout
is
out
great
to
now.
Zachary Evans for coming back and redoing it again.
Yes.
Yep.
Always a
fun
work in
course now.
progress. Now, see, here's another teaching opportunity. There were a lot of people that were very opposed to that redesign at Two Rivers that Zach Evans did, and the one that Jonathan High did, and that's why Jonathan High doesn't do anything anymore, is because all the feedback he got from contributing to the Nashville
contributing,
disc
right.
golf community,
Yeah.
and he was like,
Week by week.
and it happened to man, how many other people over the years? The Slaytons, Bobby Brody, like
Sure.
you ingrateful bastards. Just be nice to the people that give you disc golf. But no,
We love you still.
yeah, we love you.
At
But
least
you-
I do.
totally do. I do too, for sure. I just talk a lot of crap. What were we talking about?
what did Jonathan do? Get crap?
But no, when Zach Evans did it, it was like a reboot of the whole Jonathan High scenario, and I was like, and have you noticed you haven't seen Zach Evans around in a while, have you?
Wow. Yep.
So I hope he's doing good. I've reached out to him and I haven't heard back. But anyway,
I'm not scared. I'll take it over. Fuck it.
but the whole point is like there were a lot of people that were opposed to even the redesign. And those people just want something from Two Rivers that it's never going to be. It
Right.
can't provide. It needs to be a certain thing, and and then plus courses need to evolve over time in a symbiotic relationship and in tandem with the properties and the pieces of land that house them.
Yeah.
Trees fall down. Different portions of park areas get gobbled up by different activities. And you can't just keep playing the same course that was designed in 1983
It's got to adapt.
in 2021 when there's a million new things going on, and
Discs fly
Yeah.
farther now
Yeah.
than an
Yeah.
83. You know,
and people throw harder.
Yeah.
throw harder.
We'll say one thing with Two Rivers that is, he actually stopped somebody. It was like dad and a little girl playing soccer right in the middle of one.
Right in the middle. Yep.
Right in the middle of one. And he went up to him and he was like, hey, man, just letting you know, people are going to be throwing through here. And he took it really well. But then he moved down right in the middle of 2.
Yeah.
We're like,
It's like, but if you don't know the courses there,
if you don't know
right.
it, you don't know because you're
where
like,
are you
what?
supposed to be? You're supposed to
Okay.
be going back and forth.
I
Now
mean,
here's
'cause
where
when I
we
was
get
going-
in the weeds, because you say you don't know the courses there. What about the 100 people walking around carrying bags full of frisbees, throwing back and forth across this place, and the signs that say disc golf course this way?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the big sign over by hole 1 where everybody's congregating that has the map of the disc golf course, and it says blah 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 disc
10-foot
golf
sign.
course.
All right.
So I mean that the ignorance argument only goes so far. Just to be real,
Unfortunately,
If
there
I
are still
came-
people that have never heard of our sport.
If I
it's
came
an
up,
attitude
Yeah,
thing. It's
yeah.
an attitude
if
thing.
I came up
though.
to you before COVID and I said, "Hey man, social distancing," you would have been you looked at me and been like, "What the fuck you mean?"
Yeah.
Nobody knew what that was before COVID.
Yeah.
You know, and you see disc golf, I'm like,
What is that?
Still no clue. Whatever. Let's go play. Go play, kids. It says disc golf,
Get
Dad.
out there and kick a ball.
I don't know what that means. Just go play.
Yeah.
It's crazy because you get used to a certain kind of reaction when you try to inform people. Because like Seven Oaks is a great example because people come walking down past the porta potty, right past hole 11, go walking around with their little kids, all of 11 of them walking right across fairways with discs traveling at
Not
high
paying
speeds.
attention,
And then you
yeah.
try to stop and say, "Hey, you guys, you're walking onto a disc golf course." They're like, "Disco? Disco's dead, bro." Like, no,
I got these frisbees.
Yeah.
I got frisbees
don't get
that'll hurt you.
hit.
I remember Bowling Green, went to play a practice round at Bowling Green Tech, and we're like one of the holes that's coming back up through the woods towards the school, and like it's like there's hundreds of people playing this course, and there's this just gaggle of people walking slowly down the fairway the wrong way, just like picking flowers and walking all slow and strolling, and we're all kind of like standing there like,
Should you tell them?
Oops.
and finally I'm like,
Yeah.
hey,
Who's
you
gonna do
guys,
it? Who's gonna do it?
you're on the disc golf course.
Yeah.
We're throwing right at you. And before I barely finished speaking, one of the girls goes, "I don't give a damn." And I was like, "Oh,
Alrighty then.
it's on you guys. I'm done.
You get
I'm
hit,
done with
not my
this."
problem.
Yeah.
Now, meanwhile, fast forward a couple years, I go to GBO in Emporia. We're playing a practice round at Peter Pan. We're coming up on the water hazard, and there's a whole family of people fishing right there. And as we're coming up, one of the kids darts out in front of us. The mother actually stops the kid and says, No, honey, let the disc golfers go first. And I was like,
in the
Cool.
world that we get the right of way.
That was cool.
like, she knows what it is, and she cares.
What was it? The tournament that we
And
were
she's teaching valuable lessons to her children. God bless America.
right.
We were volunteering the MCO at Cedar Hill.
I remember.
And
That was fun.
She was spotter for
16.
right between 16 and 17. Make
You
sure
guys
you're off
killed
at
it.
16.
That was fun. That was a lot of
A
fun.
lady come walking
Out
right
of
up past the
nowhere.
basket, up through the woods from like the parking
The
lot.
girls are on the tee box, and I had to put the red flag up. I'm like, stop! Don't throw. I don't know where she came from, and I had to stop her. I was like, ma'am, this is a tournament. She's like, am I in the middle of your thing? I was like,
Yeah.
yes, you
Yeah,
are.
you're on camera
you are.
right now. The entire world is going to see you
Yeah,
standing around here with your thumb up your butt.
yeah. The girls at the tee box were like, am I good? And I was like, yeah, go ahead. She moved.
Oh, man.
Eventually, that was a trip.
I get annoyed about it because it's like, and this is, a lot of people would take my reaction to the whole situation as insensitive or kind of callous, I guess. But the whole reason that I'm so annoyed and kind of aggravated by that level of ignorance is that these people are putting themselves at risk of serious injury. And then when they ignore all these signs that are posted in the ground, and then they ignore the hundreds of people walking around throwing discs,
The bags on.
and
the
they
back.
ignore the baskets, and they ignore all this stuff, and then they get crushed in the face with a high-speed drive and require 7 corrective surgeries and lose eyesight in one eye.
And then disc
Then
golf
they
gets the bad
sue
rap.
the city, and the course gets pulled, and then you are no longer allowed to host that event,
Right.
and then all this other stuff happens when you could have just taken a little responsibility for yourself.
It's like
All
a
right.
domino. It was a negative domino effect with that.
I think we just gave everybody a disc golf tutorial, what not and what to do.
Yeah, what to pay
It's
attention
Mr.
to.
McCaskill's pet peeve right there.
Oh, I got a whole list, dude. I got a whole list, and I'm like maybe a third of the way through it after 3 years of doing this podcast. I have to just give a little droplet of it every episode. Like, okay, this week, this is what pisses me off.
Can't overload the fans.
Cut it out.
That's how Rogan got big, right? It's just weekly. All right, this is what ticks me off this week.
Yeah.
Maybe. I think it was. I don't know. I don't know what it is, man. I think he's just an entertaining.
He makes good conversation.
It's interesting because you've seen, like, if you paid attention to that podcast from the beginning, you've watched him become a more intelligent person. And it's like he started out, it was just comedians smoking weed and making butt and dick jokes on the podcast, and then he started having like philosophers
Truly,
and
yeah.
scientists and stuff, and
Intelligent
then,
conversation.
And then now he's like, what do you think about string theory? You realize what they've created in the Higgs boson and the particle accelerator, and you're like, Can we go back to like cavemanning and like punching each other in the face sometime soon when that was fun? Yeah. So anyway, yeah, big up to you guys, man. It's really cool to see you coming in and making a name for yourself, establishing yourself in the game and in the local community.
Thank
you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah. What's next on the horizon? Anything you want to get out on the airwaves? I don't know. Obviously, I've had it in the scrolling text at the top of the screen for a while, but www.saddogdiscs for all your disc golf needs. How is you guys fully operational on your website and in person? You guys have that turnaround time with your inventory management and all that stuff?
Yeah, absolutely. So about a 2-day turnaround time from vending tournaments for to be updated on the website. So, like for instance, there's still some product on there from the solstice that if
Is
you're
no longer available.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
Gotta
but
tackle that.
yeah, I mean it's about a 2-day process currently. But no, I mean as far as check us out at Facebook, Instagram.
Yeah.
We're on all the social media pages. And
Not super active, but we're there.
we're there. We're
We're
there. We're
there.
getting more active as we have more ammo.
Yeah, our website's good. You can
careful, dude.
search what you're looking for, and it pops right up. So
I'm going to tell you. I'm going to
does
tell
what
you.
it's
really
supposed
easy.
to.
We
Exactly.
value our
Exactly.
source on our search bar.
It's
It's good.
It's not glitchy. Was the point? Yeah,
When you
it's
type
seamless.
in Sidewinder, they all come up.
All of them. Yeah.
You know what's funny? A Lost Valkyrie was what ended up getting me hooked on dynamic discs. 'Cause
Yeah?
I lost a champion Valkyrie that I loved, and I bought like
Hurts.
3 more trying to replace it, and they all flew different. And I was like, screw this, I'm getting an Escape.
Oh, you
You
escaped.
broadened your horizons.
That's how it started.
'cause, Yeah.
He escaped the Valkyrie.
I escaped from the Valkyrie, but no.
I'm
Yeah,
horrible
when you
at
get to
this.
talking about like for your business to grow, you need to be more active on social media. That's when I start saying maybe you give somebody a permanent 20% discount to manage your social media. Because I'm going to tell you, what do you call it? The improvement in my mental well-being right away after I removed social media from my life in such a pivotal way, dude. I breathing easy, living
Yeah.
free. It's just
Takes
so
a lot off.
Yeah, and then
There
it's
are
always
people
like,
that are naturally good at that,
Yeah.
at social media, and we're not.
yeah.
Me and her, we're not.
Yeah, it sucks, man. And like then the whole thing is like you're trying to use it to promote stuff and get people on board with things that you're trying to build and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Everybody's constantly picking you apart and looking for something that they can start a movement about and get people riled up over whatever you've done. Doesn't matter what good it's brought about. And then it's always this constant tightrope, this balancing act of you like people like accusing you of things or painting you into a box that's wildly inaccurate. And then you just end up constantly trying to pick and choose which situations you respond to and try to defend yourself and like tell the truth and what's really going on.
Yeah.
Because in a lot of situations to even engage at all and just to say, hey, all of this is completely made up. Here's what's really going on. Well, now all of a sudden you've bought into the movement and it doesn't matter what you say.
So you gotta be professional, man. There's nothing you can do.
You
Pick
got
your
a high road
battles,
that
you know?
shit
Yeah.
like
Right.
all the time, and it sucks.
The second you take the low road, you'll get blasted.
It feels
yeah.
great for about 5-10
It
minutes.
does until you get the feedback.
Especially
right?
if
You
you
get the
like
feedback,
really put some
yeah.
thought into your response, and then you post it, and you're like, "Yeah, got him." And then you're looking back over it a couple times to feel good, and then you realize you misspelled something. You're like, "Fuck!" You're like, I look like such a dumbass.
Yeah.
Glad I put up that profanity warning. I
That's
know.
a good idea.
Yeah, it's a tough thing, man, and that's also because it's still so small and socially community driven. This thing is still prone to tribalism, drama, people just trying to start fights over nothing.
Every community,
yeah.
It's weird.
Doesn't matter what one you come from or which one you've been in before.
Someone's gonna be the instigator.
Yeah.
There's always that section of it, right? That's going to be the volatile drama style that most people, I think, would try to space themselves away from. But
You know,
is
you would
what it
think
is.
that, and I think that's a lot of why we were successful when I, like, in the time that I was involved with the club it was like we had a zero tolerance policy on that stuff. It was like, if you're just going to be trying to kick a hornet's nest just for the sake of the chaos, like, no.
Yeah.
We'll remove everything you post. We'll completely ignore that you exist, and eventually you'll just fade away. And it was once we started having that kind of like really putting our foot down and sticking by our guns on that was when things kind of slowly started to get better. Because people eventually, just gradually over time, stopped trying so hard to instigate a riot. because they just weren't getting anywhere with it.
They realized it was worth waste of their time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And some people just want to watch the world burn,
Yeah,
I guess.
truly believe that. There are some people out there that just like negative.
Yeah.
You
negative
remember all that
environments.
stuff those people tried to
I
start.
forget everything negative and only remember the positive things.
That's a good way to look at life.
It's a good way to look at life. But there's been
It's like a quarterback, man. Like a quarterback. Hey, you missed that pass back there. Oh, show him out. It's all about
watch
the next one.
this.
It's all
What
about
about
the next
this one?
pass.
Yeah.
Hold my
There you go.
Red Bull.
Red Bull gives you wings.
So yeah, anything else you guys want to shout out real quick before we wind it up? I think we've done about 2 hours.
Wow, really?
Yeah,
It flew by.
That did fly by.
it happens in here.
Yeah, it's been a blast. I don't have anything. Do you have anything?
No, check us out. SadDogDisc.com.
I've been on the website like all day, just checking out some stuff.
Cool.
We're actually looking at getting it revamped here in
Yeah.
the near future as well to become more mobile friendly. It's not the
Yeah, I went to the desktop version. It's a lot better on the desktop
it's
version.
Yeah.
not the best on mobile at the moment.
An app
but
would be nice.
That's looking to change here in the upcoming months.
Apps are tough. Ooh, watch out.
Yes.
Expensive.
Are you guys like tech savvy, or are you having to hire somebody for all the?
You got a buddy.
So I designed that one.
Yeah, he
there
did, he
you
did our
go.
website. He did our
Hey.
website.
Hey, she makes the logo. I do the website.
Yeah, we gotta
about it.
brag on
Look
each
what
other.
I did. I pat myself on the shoulder, and she can do the
right.
same.
Hey,
Yep.
credit
Oh,
where
yeah.
it's due.
We didn't
Exactly.
I am awesome.
we didn't start with an
Exactly.
endless budget, so we had to do a lot of stuff ourselves,
Yeah.
of course. But,
Go, daddy.
yeah.
Squarespace.
So, but
We
now,
got it.
now you know
We got a buddy that'll help us.
Yeah, he knows
when we ask
WordPress.
him, yeah.
He's got the WordPress section. or-
he works for a
he?
publishing company.
Oh, there
a
you go.
Website
Yeah.
design company.
Hey,
You know what I
already
found
do
out?
this.
I
Now
thought
we can afford
WordPress
to
was the
pay
shit.
him,
It's
so
ghetto
There
as
you
fuck.
go.
WordPress ain't the spot, man.
Hey, I'm just throwing out some stuff.
I know. I thought it was that was where everybody
That's why I
went.
said GoDaddy first, because GoDaddy, like, hey, me and
That's
you,
so
GoDaddy.
10 years ago, bro.
Me and you.
Give it the time.
I own like
Remember when the chick
I
from The
own,
Biggest
like,
Loser was the
I think
GoDaddy
it's-
girl?
I think it's 22 websites.
Oh goodness.
I just like random names, like, oh, somebody's gonna need this one day. I
Yeah.
still own these things, like GoDaddy's. Every month it's like, hey, you know what? You owe us like $60 for these 6 websites. I'm like, damn it.
Nope.
Hold
Maybe
on to
worth something one day.
Oh,
Yeah. Gotta hold on to him.
Gotta hold on to them. Yeah.
Whisker Biscuit 615 is really going to be a breadwinner.
Eventually.
That's what happened with the Washington football team.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
See?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
A group of lawyers came in and bought anything remotely plausible for their team name
Yeah.
when they were looking for team names. So now they can't find anything that's not owned by somebody that they're wanting a
Yeah, and if you
bajillion
try to buy a
for.
website, it's already like, no, it's gonna be like $10,000.
Yeah.
Like out the door.
It's painful.
Yeah.
That's
I'm
unfortunate.
still waiting for
man.
that payday.
That's unfortunate.
Win lottery.
There's probably some good ones out there that you could like. We don't need to do that on this show.
You know who I got the idea from? Nico. Nico the classical.
www.oprahwinfreynoscrubs.com.
Oh Lord.
Nico has a bunch of websites.
Not going there. You just killed it with Oprah Winfrey. I'm gone.
I don't want. There's a story. Remind me off the air. I'll tell you that story because that's a website. I mean,
Not
it
safe
could
for
be. It's not a
podcasts.
website. It has something to do with a website. You know what I'm talking about. You know who you are. You know you are, you rascal. Sheesh. Well, this has been fun, Sad Dog. Even though I'm still kind of hung up on that false advertising. On the Sad
Not
Dog.
the first person
We're
to say
gonna
that.
have a second branch. Might be happy.
We're gonna have
Dog.
to.
Great opportunity. Here's a disc. All right, you know,
Right.
like the laugh now,
Give it
cry
to us.
later, thespian masks, the
Yeah.
one with it.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
puppy
Okay.
dogs.
Sad
Two
dog, happy
puppies.
dog.
Little yin yang thing going on.
Little
Okay.
Sad dog, happy
little bit
dog.
of column A, and then one from column B.
I like it.
A little trade off there.
I like it.
Hey, just for
I'm gonna hold on to
funsies.
that one.
Just see, I mean, dude, I'm telling you,
I'll
I
give
got-
you the credit if we
Like
use
he
it.
said, just print all ones and then let the vendors make it rain. I'm just doing that with $1 million
I'm on-
ideas.
make it-
Oh yeah.
So here you go.
Give us
baby.
the
Here you go.
ideas.
Here
You're
you go.
soaking all these up, right?
Jotting them down. Right
there you
here.
go.
I had one everybody used to make fun of me about at work, but because I work for an electrical contractor. So everybody has these like tool pouches and tool belts and stuff that they wear so that they can be on the ladder and not have to come down the ladder to go to their cart
Yeah.
and stuff.
Until you forget that one tool that's not in your belt.
Right. And then, you know, you got some guys that are very industrious and are too old to give a damn about high fashion, and they are wearing fanny packs, which fanny packs, I guess, are becoming a thing again.
Those
now.
are yeah.
So anyway, I was looking at all this, and like when you're on the ladder running electrical on a slab or even in existing construction, you have to have different size wire nuts to make joints because some wire is bigger than other wire.
Yeah.
And sometimes you got to put more wires into a joint than you do with others. So they have all these different sizes of wire nuts, little teeny tiny ones and great big old honking ones. And so I had this idea for a pouch of a sort that could be hooked up, that had like one of those metal clips on it so that you could like rig it up to your existing tool belt. But all it was it had a zipper top, and it opens up, and then it's got mesh pouches, baggy mesh pouches all on the inside.
For the wire nuts.
So you can keep all your different wire nuts separate with enough space in each pouch to actually have enough of them to make a difference without having to refill it every 5 minutes. And I was going to call it a nut sack, and then they came out with a disc golf bag. But I was like, but I had the whole idea for the commercial and everything. It was like, it was going to be this I was going to like pick one of the guys on the slab and put him in front of a camera with his teeth missing and standing there and going, "Get your nutsack!" That was going to be the whole thing. It'd be like, can't keep track of your screws and your wire nuts and all your hardware. You got a bunch of joints to make up on the slab. And then it just flashes to the old guy, "Get your nutsack!" All angrily.
I think you might be a better casting job.
Yeah, I think you should take
He's
that.
doing it pretty well over there.
Yeah. I mean, dude, I'm telling you.
You got the
There you
accents
go.
down.
There you
What
go.
was it, Eddie Murphy over here? Just like Arsenio Hall, just like all the characters. I
got
can't
all
think
the
right
voices.
now. It's like,
Hopefully the folks at home can't tell how red my face got when I did that because I felt it.
You got to
It's
tense
getting
up
a
for
little warm
that.
in here. Got having a little too much fun on the last cash. But, I got to do it because I'm getting a root canal tomorrow.
hey, I was almost last cash.
I know.
I was
saw
so
that.
close.
I saw that.
So close to being last cash.
I was like, he would.
I know, right? Yeah, shout out to Ruthie for running the solstice. I came in 7th place. I won a bag for getting CTP. I beat Dr. Hoy.
A very cool
Hey,
bag,
man.
too.
Like,
Awesome,
oh,
awesome.
man. Yeah. Nothing like having 2 of the same bags.
You easily would have had third or fourth place if I hadn't
showed.
showed up and started filming you in the second round. I showed up with the camera. Marcus just started throwing into trees. He's like, man, fuck this guy.
Oops.
Can't wait till he gets out.
I started the round and got 6 threes in a row. That's yeah. You're on your home course where you can bird. I've literally birded every hole at 7 Oaks, and I'm like, how do you get 3?
That
How
chaps
did
you
I
a
get
little
another
bit.
3?
At least got to
Did
get
I
one
get
of
2
them.
turkey threes?
I've been playing this course for 20 years.
2 turkey threes?
1, 2, and 3 are like the most gettable.
Oh yeah. No, 4.
And 4. Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
How do you not birdie
When you
hole
don't
4?
get 4, you're like, oh,
It's going to be that kind of round.
Oh no. Yep.
hell with this game.
Only thing I was happy with, I was like, okay, every putt inside 30, I'm making it. Okay, that feels good. Yeah. But every 2, you're missing. Okay. So, Will, you going to leave or what you going to do? 'Cause,
So, you good, Marcus? I'm going to go jump onto another card real quick. I think
See
we're
ya.
gonna,
Spread the bad mojo elsewhere.
we're going to go see
It
what
was kinda-
Telly's doing.
it was
I'm sorry,
was
Telly. I'm so sorry.
it was kind of like, who made the logo? Who made the logo? Will, goodbye. See ya. And then I proceed to birdie intercourse 1. Like, oh, man.
Right after he left. There you go.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know what that's all about. I don't know.
But yeah, I guess my tip for today is like if you're trying to get better, definitely record yourself, because there was also somebody on their card and he was like, "Oh man, it's just I've never been on camera before." I'm like, hey bro, you should probably record yourself, because that's the only way to add pressure to yourself. You can also see how your form is when you prepare ahead of time and put the camera down and actually watch one of your throws and 2 of your throws and a couple of your flick shots. That's definitely a way to get better at disc golf, is by recording yourself and see the good and bad that you do, and then you'll have a good basis for being on camera when somebody shows up and is like, "Hey man, you're doing great. Can we videotape you while you're on a chase card?" Yeah, bro. Today's your day, huh?
Go for it.
Come on, high five. All right,
Yeah.
you're on screen. 1, 2, 3, go. Drive. All right, go. Putt. All right, go. Drive again. Oh, upshot. Yeah.
Don't mess up.
Don't mess up.
Yeah,
No
it's
pressure.
so funny, dude.
pressure.
Discmania Combine. I was out there filming most of the day, and then I went out to film Stone's card in the disc golf portion of it. And I knew I wasn't going to get much video after about the first couple holes because my battery was dying. But it was like, I'm there filming, and I'm like thinking it's going to be really cool for people to see how this works. And then I thought to myself, right before the first hole, which they started on hole 7, there was a 15-year-old kid named Tanner Boggs on Stone's card. And in my mind, I was like, oh, man, I was like kind of working this 15-year-old with the camera right now. I was like, maybe I shouldn't film after all, just call it a day, And then I was like, yeah, I'll at least, I mean, I'm on 7. You know, I mean, I at least film 7.
Yeah,
This
he's too
kid-
young though. He's fearless.
Dude, this kid was
didn't
great
even
on
know.
camera.
Yeah.
He was like, looked at me, like he piped it all the way down to the bottom and turned around. And he's like, I've never been on camera before. I was like,
I've never
fool
passed
me.
that log before.
All 3 of the other guys, Stone included, Stone not so much, but like people were like, there was at least one guy that was really uncomfortable with being on camera.
Pressure
And
gets added when the camera comes out for some people.
at some point, it was like 3 holes later, I started feeling bad. I was like, I'm just gonna go.
Get a candid shot from the woods.
go.
I don't even know.
Yeah, they can't see you recording.
All right, so if you were a crayon, what color would you be?
Purple.
Orange.
Oh man, that was nobody ever answers that.
Ford or Chevy?
Ford.
Ford.
Yeah, that's right.
This relationship's gonna last 50 years.
That's right.
Yeah.
If you guys were each an individual ingredient on the same sandwich, what ingredient would you be, and what kind of sandwich would it be?
Cayenne pepper, and it would be on a turkey sandwich.
Yeah.
Add bacon to it.
She's spicy.
No avocado? What?
If there's mayo
I
on
had to
that
pick one.
sandwich,
I had
I'm
to
in.
pick one.
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah. You spicy the mayo with the cayenne
There you
pepper.
go.
Ooh.
I'm gonna sub out the cayenne for some green chili powder,
There you go.
Okay.
some
There you
Hatch
go.
green chili powder.
I make some really, he calls it, his brother's got a nickname for him. He calls me Jolene. I don't know why. I hear
Dolly
that
Parton?
song often, yes. But
My Uncle Tom has a truck that he calls Eugene, and he has a song that he wrote about it to the tune of Jolene. Eugene, Eugene, you're the truck that always could.
And pretty sure you got like
What up,
1,000 of those
Tom?
stories.
Good to see you, man. I know he checks it out every once in a while. He might see that. I appreciate it.
that's awesome.
Probably not. No, nobody appreciates it.
Well, I started putting cayenne pepper on sticks of butter, and I just leave it out on the dish.
Oh, no, you got to start with how you did that
Oh,
first.
see, I was That's how it started. It started with I was making mashed potatoes, and I put a stick of butter in the mashed potatoes, and I make everything spicy because it's how he likes it. So I made it spicy, but the lid came out a little fast.
Open the wrong side of the lid. You know, the full opening side. I don't even know why they have that on cayenne pepper.
Yeah.
The
And she
scoop
went,
side or the
and it
sprinkle side.
Just flooded out like a volcano.
No way.
Ruined the mashed potatoes. But
Mashed
then
potatoes no good.
he walked past and he goes, plop, and he plucked the stick of butter that was not melted yet.
It's covered
and
in
it's
cayenne.
covered in cayenne pepper.
Yeah,
And he
yeah.
set it on our little butter dish, and he said, we're keeping that. And his brother came over the next day. He said, that's Jolene's cayenne butter. He said, market that.
That's our next business model.
It's our
right
next
there.
business. Yeah.
Flavored butter.
Yeah, exactly.
Cayenne butter.
Get your nuts out.
I mean,
Cook your eggs with it. Put it on toast.
if Double G can reinvent the jerky, I mean, you guys can reinvent the butter.
For
Right?
real.
Yeah, I'm down.
I was
Marketing's brilliance on that guy.
All right.
If
We
you
got
got,
all the ideas on this show tonight.
Yes.
feel free to chime in if you can relate to this one. But I have a word salad.
Words are hard.
I'm going to get this thing started eventually.
All right, start it up.
All right, here we go. I have a refrigerator. Refrigerator's on the right, freezer's on the left. Tall, skinny kind of style, right?
Yeah.
So you got like narrow space in the freezer.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's full. Most of the time when it's full of stuff you haven't looked at in 3 years. But rather than look at stuff, you're like, you got the ice cream, you're trying to put it in the freezer, and the only room is on top of the ice maker, like actually sitting on top of the ice in the
Okay.
ice box
Yeah.
that's up there. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Because there's enough space for like a
Yeah.
quart of ice cream or whatever to just slide right in there.
And that'll stay extra cold.
And then it stays extra cold.
Yeah.
But then here's what my signature move is like I'll put my wife's ice cream in there because there's nowhere else to put it, and I don't feel like taking it to the freezer in the garage. And then in the morning when I'm half awake and I'm getting ready to go to work and I'm like getting my Yeti cup full of ice water, I take that ice cream out of the ice box and I set it on top of the refrigerator, and then I reach in there and grab a handful of ice cubes to go into the Yeti cup.
Where's that ice cream at?
Oh no! Ice cream
What
never made
ice
it on
cream?
top of the refrigerator.
What ice cream? There
They
was
don't
ice
even have
cream.
ice cream.
How do we have ice cream? There wasn't even any room in the freezer for the ice cream. Were you going to have ice cream? You don't have anywhere to put it? Come on. That ice cream.
See, he can't put anything on top of the fridge at our house.
Don't worry about that ice cream.
Short people problems.
Yes.
Oh, that's so just depressing too. It's like you
Hardcore.
think you do this awesome thing, you surprise your wife, you're on your way home, and you stop at Baskin Robbins and get her, and like people like me, we always marry weirdos that are like the weirdest flavor of ice cream. It's like, I want chocolate chip ice cream, not chocolate chip cookie dough or mint chocolate chip. It's the one random thing that sounds normal as hell, but nobody ever has it. Oh, you want just the chocolate chips? Like it just chocolate chips in the vanilla? Yeah, in the vanilla ice cream, chocolate chips. That's all I want. Anyway,
Not Oreo.
you go to all this, you do the research, the R&D to figure out what stores actually have chocolate chip ice cream. Then you go surprise your wife with some of it. You get home like, hey, honey. And she's like, oh, my gosh, I have chocolate chip ice cream. And she has some. She's like, oh, and I have enough for the next 4 or 5 days. And put it in the freezer. And then you get up in the morning and fuck it up.
Oops.
Sit it on there. And then
all that preparation.
And then at some point in the day, she comes down to make her lunch.
Ice cream.
And she's like going to the fridge and she looks up. Or, God forbid, you set it up there and it's like leaning on the actual doors and she opens it up and then the thing full of wet melted ice cream goes.
So how many times have you left your wife's ice cream on top of the fridge?
More than 5, less
We're
than
not
10.
counting.
Got it. Got it. So he hasn't lost the fingers. He hasn't locked count on fingers yet, but
How much did you spend on that Bill Belichick hoodie? More than our wedding, less than our car. Now, have you guys seen there's this new show called Kevin Can Fuck Himself? I think it's on Netflix. It might be on something else, but it's really good. It's like half sitcom and half like dark comedy, where it's like you'll see a house and there will be that little jingle playing, and then you'll come in and the dopey-eyed husband will be doing some ridiculous thing, and you'll hear the canned laughter from the in-studio audience. It's, ah! And then the cheeky wife will come in and, you know, that whole thing, and then the husband's antics just get more and more ridiculous, and then she's just, oh my gosh, you know, and then it's like that kind of a sitcom, but then everybody but her walks out of the room, and it switches to another camera, and all the lights are like dim, and she's going, and then it's totally different show for the next 15 minutes. It's pretty trippy.
Sounds like a roller coaster.
It's like, this is the funniest sitcom ever, but low key, this chick's gonna kill somebody.
This is
Like, you're just watching the show. The entire purpose for watching it is at some point she's killing her husband. Yeah. You're like, she doesn't kill her husband.
Keep watching.
She doesn't kill this guy. I'm gonna be so pissed. It's gonna be like worse than Lost.
all that build up for nothing.
Okay, that's enough of that, I guess. Guys, it's been fun. Thanks for
Yes, it
coming
has.
over on a whim. I was sitting around for the last few days thinking, I want to have somebody on the show on Monday that we can like talk about the solstice with, but also talk about other stuff. And I don't know who to have on that I haven't had on recently. I don't know. And then Jonah Cavalier's like, I have a great idea for your next guest on your podcast. I'm like, oh yeah? It's like, Jake Graham and Joe from Sad Dog Dis. I'm like,
Sold.
Like it.
Gold.
that's it.
Thank
Yeah,
you
he's
for
our future media
recommending
relations
us. Thank you.
manager.
He's
Yeah.
gonna be my future program director. You better step off,
He
bitch.
texted me at like 6 a.m. and was like, I've got a great idea. And I was
Yeah.
like, what? He's like,
It was about that same time.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he shot it to
Early
both of
hours
you
of
about
the
the same
morning.
time. Yeah, I know. He told me about it. and was like, all right.
I think I texted you before 8 a.m. I was like, hey, let's do this.
Yeah, yeah.
I told him, I was like, yeah, have his people call my people. We'll do lunch.
Next thing I know, he's telling me we're coming over here tonight. I was like, all right.
And all is well with the world.
Yeah, this has been a blast.
Yeah, thanks for making a journey over to the island of misfit toys.
Of course. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, it's been real.
Absolutely.
It's been fun.
It's been a pleasure.
You guys check out saddogdisc.com. Check Sad Dog Discs out on social media. Marcus, what do you got to say for yourself?
Yeah, finish strong. Everything you do in
DJ
life.
Finish Strong, that's me. And I'm
Everything you do
MC
in
Little
life, man.
Stomach Ache.
You know what I'm saying? Just take your time. Finish strong.
Stay calm.
Stay calm.
And always check out the last cash.
Oh, yeah.
And never tie for last cash or place last cash. And we're not just saying it, we're also doing it. So
That's right. 'Cause
Take
there was
our
8
advice, we're
places,
not
and
using
I was
it.
number 7.
Not tied for 7. 7.
By
7.
myself.
By
Solo.
himself.
Solo dolo.
All right.
I'm not sharing my money with you other 6 people.
yeah. For Jay Skinner and Dr. Hoy, who couldn't be here this evening, we will catch you guys on the course. And until next week, get your nutsack!
Let the bass kick.